One of the best fan events of the NASCAR year, historic Watkins Glen International in upstate New York. Today, one of America's most storied racetracks plays host to the NASCAR Xfinity Series, where the regular season is down to just 4 races before the playoff field is set.
That right there was a spotlight on the talent of John Hunter Nemechek.
We've been fast every single week, so hopefully we have a really strong playoff run to the Final Four and try and go win a championship.
Heck yeah! That's what I'm talking about!
We want to go back to Phoenix.
Man, this guy is good.
Hell of a job there.
I just feel like I have a lot of confidence.
That's how you do it! We did it, baby. Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Nice job. Nice job.
Yeah! Welcome, everyone, to Countdown to Green. The fans love this place with a sold-out infield and temperatures in the 70s. What's not to love? Let's go road course racing for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The Peacock Pit Box located in pit stall number 24, right across from the start-finish line. I'm Marty Snyder, and evidently the Peacock Pit Box has been, Watkins Glen's been very good to this Peacock Pit Box.
Yes,
Brad has 4 wins here as an owner. Kyle has a win here as a driver. So 4 races left, Brad, in the regular season for the Xfinity Series. You got Cup drivers in the field like Kyle Busch today. Woo. You know, the drivers in the Xfinity Series, they're younger. Does that cause them to take on the pressure of the playoffs a little bit more?
There's no doubt about it. When you're talking about young athletes in any sport or any game, you're always telling them, let the game come to you. It's no different with a race car driver. These young guys have to go out today. Let the race come to them. Where the mistakes are made by young race car drivers is when they push and they shove and they try to take. They don't have the experience or the maturity to do that. Let it come to you.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. Let it come to you. When you're young, you want to go take,
That's right.
and that's the problem. But you learn from those mistakes, and there'll be drivers today that learn from the mistakes that are made today that put them in position to win championships and more races in the future.
So, Kyle, how would you describe the racing at Watkins Glen over the last few years? Is the word chaos a fair word to use?
Okay, it's chaos from the outside of the car. It's hectic inside that car, man. You're shifting, you're braking, you're doing all this stuff. And like I said, that's just what goes on inside your car. When you put 2 wide, 3 wide in some of these places, single wide in some of these places, that these guys force the issue and try to make it 2 wide, it is incredibly chaotic in the car, out of the car, and what goes on in those sand traps. Because there's going to be some cars in some sand traps.
No, and for me, it is chaotic, but the thing that catches my eye is the speed. This place is so fast. These guys are running 160 miles an hour down the straightaway, up through 2, 3, and 4. 175 miles an hour getting into that bus stop, man. They are hauling the heat around this place.
So maybe that's why they call Watkins Glen the super speedway of road courses. Lots of speed, very tight racetrack here at the Glen. To capture it all today, we're going to call the race radio style. We'll have Mike Bagley from MRN Radio and Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 up through the S's. Then it's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s turn through the inner loop and the bus stop. And then on the backside of the racetrack, calling the final few corners, Jeff Burton over there. And finally, Rick Allen and Steve Letarte will call them home to the start-finish line. The guys around the track will have a busy afternoon today. Let's go around the horn, starting with Mike Bagley. Afternoon, Mike.
Afternoon, Marty. Brad just talked about the speed around this racetrack. Well, that speed begins in the S's, turns 2, 3, and 4. But you need speed, but you also need precision. If you get offline, this is Justin Allgaier. A year ago, he got offline in turn 2 and didn't know it till he got all the way to turn 4. Make that 3 into 4. A lot of damage on that Brandt Agricultural Chevrolet. Once you clear turn 4, it is a very high-speed approach into a very unique and complex set of corners, and that's where Dale Earnhardt Jr. is positioned.
Yeah, before you get to the bus stop here, you got a tough braking zone, and there'll be a lot of drivers trying to make passes or arguing over position. And going into this braking zone or into this bus stop side by side, you used to never do that. But here lately, side by side into the bus stop is what a lot of these guys are trying, and they tried unsuccessfully. Either one or both cars are going to have trouble doing that, as we see in last year's race, a controversial finish as drivers are arguing in the 3rd stage over that position. We'll see that all day long, cars getting offline because of that through the bus stop. And then you go into the challenging carousel, downhill to the right. It's a corkscrew, very uncomfortable. You're thrown to the left side of the car, and then you got to get out of there quickly to head to Jeff Burton in turn 6.
Yeah, and it's so important, Junior, because that straightaway is so long. It's tons of speed, and that's important because at the end of speed is a heavy braking zone, and that's where passing happens. You have always been able to take advantage of people at this racetrack. Ty Gibbs right here, watch him. gets in the corner, heavy brakes. This is an opportunity to get the win, to get the passes you need. And also, there's tons of runoff. So if you get in there and you're a little bit hot, you got to move the guy out of the way. There's room to do it. There's runoff. There's asphalt to push a guy off without ruining his day. So you can be aggressive here, but you got to collect yourself getting into turn 7 because that's a finesse corner and it leads to the very important front straightaway.
Well, Jeff, if the road course racing in the Xfinity Series this year is any precursor, all of you guys will have a good view for the wild action that might unfold this afternoon.
Chaos at Road America.
Spinning already.
Who the wrecked me? Stuck.
The car caught on fire.
Oh, he's getting brakes. I have brake.
He got punted off of the course.
I don't know what's going on here.
Gibbs is going to win.
Allmendinger being stalked by O'Byron.
Tell him it's not over yet. No! Hell yeah!
3 wide for the lead. Custer is going to come out on the other side.
Nice move. Oh, yeah, guys.
What an incredible lap. Looking for his first victory. It's going to come for Sam Mayer.
It has been absolute chaos when it comes to the road courses in this series, including Road America, where Sam Mayer got his first career win. So with that being said, how much drama do you think we'll see here today at Watkins Glen, and how aggressive will you have to be?
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to be really aggressive on the restarts. That's where you're going to get all your track position, because once the train kind of forms up, it's hard to make passes. But I'm not worried about our Accelerate Camaro. I know it's as fast as Xfinity 10G everywhere we go. We proved that at Road America. We proved that last week. We just got to get one spot better compared to last week, and we'll be really good.
Like I mentioned, Sam Mayer won earlier this season on a road course that was Road America, and Dylan Welch is standing by a 2-time road course winner this season.
That's right. Kim wins at Portland and at the Chicago Street Course for Cole Custer. So another road course on tap here. What is working well for you guys with the 00 car on this type of racetrack?
I think it's just a testament to our whole team. You know, everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing who's helped this deal, and I think JT and all our guys have communicated really well on how to get our cars better. You know, I think just with the brakes and how our road course package, the whole thing, how it works. So we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit today. We got to start from the back. We had a little bit of a leak in qualifying, so we'll be starting shotgun the field. But the highpoint.com Ford Mustang looks good, and I think we have a solid car that should be able to contend today. So just got to bide our time and be up there at the end.
See if Cole Custer can get to the front from the back today, Marty.
Well, Dylan, those two drivers have been pretty good at the road courses so far this year. It's crazy to think that 6 of the last 11 races for the Xfinity Series have been on road courses. Brad, we always talk about drivers who look forward to the road courses. Give me a driver who is looking forward to road course season almost being over after today.
Yeah, that's going to be Brandon Jones. And you talk about those 6 of the 11. He's only scored stage points in 1 of those 6 races.
Wow.
He really struggles, averaged about a 17th place finish. That's not good. So he wants to get through today, have a successful day, maybe something, 12, 13, 14, 15, because he's got a couple of racetracks coming up in Darlington, Kansas. I think Brandon Jones wins Kansas. So if he can survive today, I'm calling it right now. If he can get out of here today kind of clean, he gets to Kansas, he can make some hay happen.
Yeah, put Brad on the list for pre-race at Kansas. Okay, let's get Nostradamus there. I take Daniel Hemrick, and I look at Daniel Hemrick. He scored the 9th most points on road courses, but he's only had 2 top 10 finishes in the last 6 road course races. He's thinking to himself inside that helmet today, get me back to an oval where I can win some stage points and where I do have shots at winning races. He needs to put these behind him and focus on where he's going.
When we come back, time to focus on the cut line drivers. Just 4 races left to decide who's in and who's out, including Parker Kligerman. Will the playoff picture change after today? We'll talk about it coming up next. It's not too late to get in the game with NASCAR Fantasy Live. Create an entry by picking 5 drivers plus a garage driver to compete. You can make in-race adjustments to maximize your score. Visit NASCAR.com/fantasy to start playing now. Watkins Glen International, one of the preeminent road courses in the world. One driver very happy to be back at another road course is Parker Kligerman. Our Nate Ryan walks us through the unusual journey for Kligerman to get to the doorstep of the Xfinity Series playoffs.
Parker Kligerman thought his racing career was over.
That's Parker Kligerman.
Before he got the surprise of returning to a full-time NASCAR Xfinity Series schedule for the first time in 10 years.
It is special because it's something that I don't really think for a while I thought was going to happen. And sort of the way it did come about was really cool because it was about performance and about winning.
Parker Kligerman has won.
Winning was something Kligerman had done 3 times in the Truck Series. But he had moved into a successful career as a broadcast analyst and pit reporter, interviewing the drivers he'd been racing.
There was times, and I'm standing there and I'm talking about someone that I've beaten before and they're going on to win a race, and you kind of have a moment of introspection, which is like, why am I not doing that? It was tough, but you know, I don't think I would have the opportunity I have now without the time that I spent broadcasting and had to watch the sport from such a different perspective.
And you can see that from where the cars have actually even bottomed out as they come over this curb.
Now he's on the cusp of claiming an Xfinity Series playoff spot.
They told Parker we can still get more positions,
either through points or with a victory.
It would mean a lot to me to win at this level for all the people who have, the last 8 years or so, pushed me to keep doing this, to keep racing when I probably felt like time was up.
Good stuff, Nate. Kyle, 4 races to go in the regular season, and here's how the playoff standings shape up.
Yeah, and we see how tight that battle is at the bubble. And we just saw the piece on Parker Kligerman. 17 points, minus 17. Sheldon Creed, who seems to be in free fall over the last 6 or 7 weeks or 10 weeks, whatever, is only 17 above. It is so close with just 3 or 4 races to go. We've seen it fluctuate at the top of this list with John Hunter Nemechek on a couple of different occasions. It can fluctuate here too.
So Brad at minus 17, is it a must-win scenario for Parker Kligerman over the final 4 races, you think?
Oh, I think absolutely, because we're running out of time. We can say this every week. Is it a must? Yes, and I'll tell you why. It's just the opposite of what I said for the young guys. Parker is an experienced, mature race car driver. He's a very good road racer. This is his opportunity. He has to take advantage of those guys who are a little bit passive at times and take those positions, put himself in position to get to the end of the day to have a chance to win, not be in the back battling. But there's a lot that goes with that. They got to not be clean on pit road, not make mistakes, do things like that, not rough up the race car. All that goes into it.
Yeah, talking about a young driver, and we talked about it earlier, if this was Parker Kligerman's first bite at the apple, he would be crazy today. He would go into this thing, but he is a mature driver. Yeah. He is so mature. He is so much smarter. He is such a better race car driver than he was the first time he was here. I look at it, and I think, yes, it's a must-win because of the time element. But what I like to say about Parker here today is that it's a can win. He can win at this racetrack.
Like
and that's a different position than he's been in his career.
What's that ride like? You notice Parker and Sheldon Creed riding on the truck together, you know, and they're trying to fight each other here in the playoffs.
You just want to go ahead and elbow them out.
That's how it works in NASCAR.
Eliminate the competition.
I know. So to the Sheldon Creed point,
yes.
I mean, he's lost 56 points to the cut line in 8 races, Kyle. How did they just turn things around and just stem the tide?
Listen, I grew up playing pinball, not video games, and you couldn't push the reset button, and you can't push the reset button today, man. Yeah. You can't push it. Here's a guy who has only had 5 clean races, and I mean no penalties, no accidents, no incidents in any race all year long. 5 out of 23 races is on the only clear races he's had. He was 73 points to the good, had that penalty for intentionally wrecking someone, obviously Sammy Smith, and has been in free fall ever since that moment. He has got to stop this, but you can't. You just got to ride this out. You know it, Brad, being an NBA player. When you get in that slump, you just got to power through it. He's got to continue the power, but this is a place he needs to stay on the pavement, stay away from everybody else, just finish the race, just maintain, and he'll be okay.
Some big news coming out about Sheldon Creed's teammate this week, Austin Hill, signing a multi-year agreement to stay at Richard Childress Racing. He will once again run full-time in the Xfinity Series in 2024. Brad, with 4 wins and being the points leader, are you surprised he didn't make the jump to Cup next year?
Well, I'm sure he was looking at the opportunities, but just didn't see one that was sufficient. So this is great. Now that's over with. He can focus on running the Xfinity Series next year. I expect a championship out of Austin Hill. He's that good, that talented. This is going to be a strong team next year in the Xfinity Series.
Well, certainly one of the elements that a lot of fans have been asking questions about. No more cautions at the end of the stages at road courses, and in the Cup race at Indianapolis last week, just 1 caution the entire race. Let's bring in our crew chief, Steve Letarte. Probably a good time for a refresher for the fans at home. Steve, why did the teams want this? Why do they want no more cautions on stage breaks at road courses?
So the challenge with a yellow at the end of the stage at a road course, it basically forced the fast cars, the leaders, to decide between A, stage points or a stage win, or B, track position. If you want to win the race, you need track position. You would pit right before the stage end, and then when everyone else pits under the yellow, you cycle back to the front. But unfortunately, if you want those points, then you have to stay out and lose your track position. That wasn't the intent of these stage points. They were to reward fast race cars, not make these guys make a split-second decision, so therefore they were eliminated.
So, see, we saw a little more strategy than you normally see in an Xfinity Series race last weekend at Indianapolis. Do you see that coming today, and how do you see the race playing out from on top of the pit box?
Well, so it's an 82-lap race. You can run around 30 laps on fuel. You're going to run it backwards, which means you want to pit twice and only twice. So you're going to run through stage 1, probably finish that one on the racetrack, come to pit road very quickly after lap 22 to 25, then pit one more time somewhere in the 50s, and then ride it out to lap 82. Just remember, Marty, all these plans, crumple them up, throw them out the window with timely yellows. So you better have a plan A, B, C, and D figured out for today's race.
Love it, Steve. Good stuff. We'll see you for the call of the race. The Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, just terrific this time of the year. Watkins Glen State Park is a favorite destination, welcoming over 1 million visitors a year. Easy to see why this race weekend is always a sellout. Plus outstanding weather. Brad Daugherty gives it his stamp of approval here at the Glen.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I wish somebody would bring me a case of that Chardonnay they bring around. Bring it on down to the pit box. I'll pick it up.
Back at Watkins Glen, Brad, check out the who's who list when it comes to the most recent Xfinity Series winners here at the Glen.
Wow, that is incredible. Look at that. You got 3 Cup champs, you got an Xfinity champ, you got a Daytona 500 winner.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah, Kyle, the double duty drivers this weekend, also an impressive list. Alex Bowman on the list. So why do they pick Watkins Glen and not Indianapolis last week to get you in the road course rhythm a little bit sooner?
So I had an opportunity to talk to his dad during practice, and to use that good Southern word is practice. He wanted to practice. He needed extra laps on the racetrack. These guys don't get practice anymore. This was a place, a road course he felt weak at, and he felt like these laps would make him better tomorrow. Remember, he's still chasing that bubble.
Yep. No doubt about it. Qualified second for today. One driver who's looked pretty strong on the road courses so far this year and finished 5th here last year is Kaz Grala. Right now, he's with Dylan Welch.
That's right. It's been a good stretch of road course races for the Sam Hunt Racing Group and Kaz. So does this race today present another opportunity for a good finish for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. And if practice is any indicator, I think we're in good shape here. I felt like our Island Coastal Lager Supra was as fast as Xfinity 10G in practice. A little slower than that in qualifying, but still 15th for us is not too bad. I think we've got better pace than that in it for the race, so I'm excited for it.
All right, that's encouraging for Kaz Grala. As he said, he starts 15th, Kim.
Well, Dylan, as we look at last year's race, Sammy Smith finished 3rd, and he battled with the best of them, A.J. Allmendinger, Kyle Larson, William Byron. What did you learn from last year's race that can help you here today?
Yeah, I learned a lot. This is one of my favorite road courses. Excited to get here today. I think we're a fast Toyota Jira Supra, and hopefully it's as fast as Xfinity 10G. But thanks to Pilot, TMC, everyone that stuck with us these last couple weeks. It's been a little bit rough, but we got a lot of confidence in our car and our team, and we'll get it back on track.
Marty, this team hoping to turn things around after a rough 3 weeks.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, guys, time for a little buy, sell, hold. Today's topic, this winless driver will win before the Xfinity Series playoffs start. KP, we'll start with you and Josh Berry. Are you buying he gets a win in the next 4 races?
I am buying he gets a win. They have had speed lately. He dominated Pocono, was a runner-up at Michigan. He's good at Darlington. He's good at Daytona. One flaw, don't let those cup rides be your temptress. Stay focused on what you're supposed to do in this Xfinity Series.
Brad, how about Sheldon Creed?
Man, Sheldon Creed's hit everything but the lottery over the last few weeks. But I'm going to tell you what. I like Sheldon Creed at Darlington. Sheldon wins at Darlington.
Wow. Kyle, Riley Herbst, you buying this team as close to a win?
I'm a hold. I don't see him winning. I think he's turned his season around at a great time right before the playoffs. They're headed in the right direction. He's earned the 3rd most points over the last 4 races. He's doing what he needs to do, but I don't see a win coming before the playoffs.
Since you already announced it, Brad, I'm assuming you're buying that Brandon Jones. You already said he's winning Kansas.
I'm right.
You're a buy.
I'm glad you're picking up what I'm laying down. Brandon Jones is going to take it to him at Kansas.
Wow, a lot of new winners according to you guys.
There's a lot of races left.
It's going to be fun.
He's been in the Chardonnay, man. He's been in the Chardonnay.
A case of Chardonnay should be here any moment.
When we come back, who do Kyle and Brad have their eye on today? And could the Cup guys like Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, or Alex Bowman spoil the day? We'll talk about it next here when we return to the Glen.
Such a blast. I had so much fun. Yeah! We're going to burn it down.
Let's celebrate.
This is unbelievable.
It's awesome.
Now the Xfinity Series scene moves to historic Watkins Glen International. For decades, it's been a fan favorite destination in the month of August. The infield sold out earlier than ever. Brad, I hear there's maybe some tickets for tomorrow.
Only a few, and I just called my cousins. They're on the way down. About 20 of them coming.
If it sells out, it'd be the 8th straight year with a sellout here. I think the fans just like the speed and the wild racing, to be honest with you.
The speed is unbelievable here. The racing is chaotic. It's going to be a blast to watch.
Kyle, who do you look at today as an opportunity for their team here at Watkins Glen?
Okay, I'm looking at Alex Bowman. I think a lot of times an athlete brings baggage to the table. In the Cup Series, there's a lot of pressure on him. I think there's no pressure here today. I think he's a solid road racer, headed towards being a great road racer. We've seen him on the Cup side. I think he just goes out, drives this race today.
I agree. I think Alex Bowman might win tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
Everybody's talking about that 9 car. I think you need to watch the 48. But for me today, it's Cole Custer. I mean, Cole Custer has had the worst luck over the last several weeks. He's had 1 top 10 finish in the last 5 races after winning 2 of the 5 road course races. So I'm looking for him to get healthy today. And if he does, he can challenge at the end of the day for a victory.
Boy, they need just a good run. They've had so many fast cars lately, but they can't execute a race for Cole Custer and his team. Really, Justin Allgaier's kind of in the same boat. I want to go back to your Bowman point. These Saturday laps, do they really help the Sunday laps?
Because we don't get practice, because the Cup guys don't get practice anymore. Everything's simulation. This is real world, man. You're thrown around in that car. You're strapped in. You're sweating. You're hot. These laps count. Ask Kyle Busch. He says they all count, baby.
Right.
He says they all count.
Yeah, you come out here, you jump on these guys, you take it to them, you have a great day. It's all about confidence, brother.
When we come back, time for today's pre-race ceremonies as we get closer to the green flag here at Watkins Glen. Welcome back to Watkins Glen. Upstate New York has delivered this weekend. You can see why fans love this place. Hard to beat racing on a sunny 70-degree day. And look at that packed grid here at the Glen. You know, Kyle, the road course racing, the Xfinity Series this year has been filled with chaos. Do you see that changing or calming down today at all?
Why would it change in Watkins Glen? It's not changed anywhere. This has been the Xfinity Series, and road course racing have brought it for the fans this year, and I don't see today being any less chaotic as ever.
Yeah, aggressiveness, massive speeds. We see carnage at this racetrack. It only takes a couple of laps for these guys to get up to full song, and then it all begins.
Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman in the field today. Those Xfinity Series drivers are going to learn where they stand pretty quick, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Those guys will no doubt be very fast to watch, and Austin Hill trying to hold on to the regular season points lead as well. Beautiful day here at Watkins Glen. Time for today's pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise as you are able and remove your hats as New York State Police Troop E Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome Reverend David Fife.
Thank you, O God, for the great weather you provided for this year's running of the Shriners Children's 200 at the Glen. We ask your blessing upon this race, Lord, with your hand of protection upon each driver, course worker, and crew member. Grant us a safe race and help us to remember that all good things come from you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here to perform the Canadian National Anthem and our nation's Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome local performing artist Anna Hurt, accompanied by American Sign Language interpreter Rebecca Kausha.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
On the other side, Bagman Jeffen Jr. will show us this track up close and personal, plus Rick Allen and Steve Letarte as we get the engines cranked here at the Glen.
It's the 7th and final road course of the regular season for the Xfinity Series, and it's Watkins Glen International. We always enjoy bringing this race to you radio style, and in the S's, that's turns 2, 3, and 4, will be MRN's and SiriusXM's Mike Bagley joining us. He'll have all of the action as they go uphill there. And then down the backstretch into the inner loop and the carousel is Dale Earnhardt Jr., who has won at this course before in the Xfinity Series. Jeff Burton has all the action through turn 6 and to 7. And our crew chief Steve Letarte and myself will be right here at the start-finish line, bringing everyone home. Let's check in with the Bagman down there in the S's. What are we expecting today?
Well, Rick, we are exactly in the middle of the S's. We talk about how wide this racetrack is or isn't. It's 32 feet wide. But one thing that you need to consider, this literally is a climb to the clouds. From the bottom of turn 2 all the way to the top of turn 4, it's 80 feet all the way up. And in that 80 feet of ascension, a lot can happen. You have to be precise. You have to have the speed and keep the car out of these light baby blue Armco barriers. Once they clean turn 4 and clear turn 4, it's up the back straightaway where they'll race into the view of Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is in the middle of a very complex set of corners.
Yeah, down here in the bus stop, this is a really tricky section of the racetrack, and the drivers are going to use all of the curbs. I mean, all of the race cars are going to get on top of these curves, and I'm at the last curb exiting the bus stop, and just offline, it's full of dirt. This is all dirt and gravel, loose dirt and gravel that's been knocked across the racetrack all day long during practice. It's caused a lot of problems for grip heading off into the carousel, a right-hander that's downhill. They're going to drag all this dirt through this bus stop into the racetrack. It's going to create a lot of problems. You're going to come up on this racetrack and have a clean track one lap. You'll come through here the next lap. It'll be completely dirty, and it'll throw you for a loop. So drivers got to be careful doing that. And then they're going to go through the carousel, and they got to get out of that corner because another long straightaway headed to Jeff Burton.
Yeah, and that straightaway is almost a half a mile long. Look at this thing, and that means you're building tons of speed as you're approaching turn 6. And what does that mean on a road course? At the end of every long high-speed corner is a braking zone. Right here is an opportunity. Outbrake somebody, get super aggressive. And look at all the runoff. If you want to push a guy off track, push him off into the asphalt. You're not actually destroying his day, but you can take that spot. Going to be a ton of action. Let's get them fired up.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Shriners Children's patient ambassadors, Ruger and Wyatt Spencer.
On behalf of the 1.5 million Shrine patients treated at our Shrine hospitals, we want to thank you for being here today at the Shriners Children's 200 at the Glen. And today we have our patients here, Wyatt and Ruger. Give them those famous words.
Driver, start your engines!
Fired up when you're ready,
bro. Fire up when you're ready. All right, you fire when you're ready, bro.
Well, we've talked so much about points battles today. Two of the points battles are right here in front of us, row 7 and row 6. Row 7, you got Parker Kligerman, who's 17 points below the cut line, says that this team is just now hitting their stride. They feel really good today. Right in front of him, the guy he's chasing in points, Sheldon Creed, who's been hemorrhaging points the last 5 weeks. Kim, they're running out of time. They've got to turn it around and stop the bleeding today.
And as we talk points, we cannot ignore the points battle at the top, the regular season championship standings. John Hunter Nemechek looking to take it back from Austin Hill. He's got 5 wins on the season, but none of them have come on road courses. In fact, it's been a mixed bag for this team. They've got their worst start on a road course this season. It is going to be a battle. I can't think of more motivation than having Austin Hill, your regular season leader, right by you to give you that motivation. 5 straight top 10s at road courses for him. All the action coming your way. The green flag next.
Fast, crossing county lines just to make my name in the city. I worked for this for all these years and I wouldn't break her back down. No. I fought through all my fears and all of my frustrations. See the light is getting clear. I know I'm taking it down. It's my time. I'm taking it now.
And time is running out if you want to make the playoffs. Only 4 races remain before those begin. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, Shriners Children's 200 at the Glen. And one driver who needs something well to happen today is Parker Kligerman. He is currently 17 points below the cut line. Let's see if we can dial him up on the radio, Steve.
All right, let's see if we can get Parker. Hey, Parker, it's the guys up in the NBC booth. You got a copy?
Got you, buddy.
All right, man, I know you were excited for this year and this opportunity to run full-time, make the playoffs, the last road course of the regular season. Is it all about today, or can you look at the bigger picture and what you're trying to do in the points?
Man, that's hard. You know this game, right? It's about the war, right? Not just a specific battle, and that's what we've got ahead of us in making this playoff, and I think that's what's going to get us in the playoffs. You look at the last 10 weeks, I mean, we've been one of the best cars in the series, and especially the last 4 weeks. We just got to score some stage points. I think today's a big opportunity, but I also think next week and the next 4 weeks are all of our opportunities. So, yeah, I think we can get it done. Maybe Racing's doing a great job, and we've got a better car than we had in qualifying. I think we can get some stage points here, both stages, and put ourselves in the right position to go challenge at the front.
All right, Parker, you're analyst / driver, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Fastest road course, 7 corners. What's the one corner? What's the one corner you have to be great in if you have a chance at today's race?
That's turn 1, buddy. You got to get off turn 1 to get down this big straightaway and be as fast as Xfinity 10G Internet. If you do that, hopefully have this spike light corners up front and be the best off turn 1. I think we can get this thing up front.
All right, man, appreciate you taking the time. The fans appreciate it. Enjoy your day out there. We'll be watching.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great day. It's a beautiful day to go racing out here. Watch the fun.
It is a beautiful day, and again, Parker just outside of the top 12 that make the playoffs. So he's fighting for every point. Just in front of him is the 2 of Sheldon Creed. With more on him, here's Dylan.
Yeah, and it has been a tough summer stretch for Sheldon Creed and the 2 teams. Since Nashville 5 races ago, their points cushion has gone from 73 to the good to just 17 to the good now. Sheldon said, there's no reason that we should be in this position, and today the burden rides with me. I've got to go out here and perform today, not make mistakes, and be near the front all day. The road course package has been good for the 2 team this year, Kim. They'll have to employ all they've learned recently to get Sheldon to the front and keep him there.
Well, Dylan, it's hard to believe Josh Berry is still winless this season. And while the number 8 team would absolutely welcome a victory this weekend, the team is realistic about what their expectations are at Watkins Glen. I asked Josh where on the course he feels like he needs the most help. He laughed and he said everywhere. This place is still very challenging for him because he has so few starts here. A really good day for this team would be a top 5, but they would be happy with a clean day and a 5th to 10th place finish. Marty, they start in the 7th position.
Kim, it's really really been a mixed bag of results for Riley Herbst at the road courses so far this year. 6 races, just 2 top 10 finishes, but Riley loves the road courses. His crew chief, Davin Restivo, not so much. He told me, hey, I'm glad that we're moving on and we don't have another road course until the playoffs at the Roval later in October. And in our position, his crew chief said, plus 34 above the cut line, we have to play things very by the book today as the cars come down pit road to check their pit road speed. Nothing fancy. He said we need to walk out of here with a clean top 10 finish. That would be a good day for us and on the right side of the cut line, Rick.
Yeah, Marty, clean top 10 finish. I'm sure a lot of teams would be looking for that. Let's take a look at the starting grid. Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman making up row number 1, and that's a powerful duo up there in that row. And then a little further back, you have Josh Berry, who still has yet to get to victory lane in 2023 alongside Kyle Busch, who's the winningest Xfinity Series driver ever.
Well, then on the next page, you have a battle of the regular season championship in row 6, and then the battle of the bubble and cut line in row 7 of Sheldon Creed and Parker Kligerman.
A little bit further back as we go back into row 11 with Sage Karam there, Stephen Parsons in row 12.
Yeah, Parker Retzlaff, he ran the ARCA race yesterday. And then how about this? You got Max McLaughlin in row 16, son of Mike McLaughlin making his first Xfinity Series start. Behind him, Kyle Weatherman making his 100th Xfinity Series start.
Good milestones taking place. Steve, give us the race analysis for this. 82 laps, I know, but it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much, but 200 miles here at the Glen is a challenge. 20 laps stage 1, the same for stage 2. That final stage much longer at 42 laps. Fuel window 30 to 32 laps. The key will be minimal pit stops. These tires, these Goodyear tires hold on great. All of these leaders are thinking 2 pit stops. Run through the end of stage 1, get your points, come to pit road, run through the end of stage 2, pit one more time. What that means is a mistake on pit road, speeding, an issue with the pit crew could really hurt your chances.
Right now out in front of the field is the official pace car for today's race, the Toyota GR Supra. Out there pacing the field. Again, right in front of that front row of Ty Gibbs and Alex Bowman. And guys, you're up in your perches, you're ready to go, you're ready to call the action. Bagman, what do you think about the S's? Are we going to see a lot of action there today?
We always do when we come here, Rick. Parker just said a good run to the S's starts in turn 1 with all the speed coming out of 1. You'll carry that speed through 2, 3, and 4 and up the backstretch. But then when you get to the end of the back straightaway in Dale Jr., it's all about braking and getting through the inner loop.
Yeah, I think you got to minimize the mistakes, especially without the stage cautions. Remember, we removed the stage cautions from the road courses. You cannot make mistakes and give up track position. That'll be important down here in the inner loop, Burton.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important all day long. I think back to Road America, there were multiple drivers with 2 to go that had a chance to win the race, and nobody could connect the dots. Nobody could hit the corners. If you get yourself in position today, you cannot make mistakes at those key moments. There's a ton of pressure on a lot of young drivers, but now's an opportunity to deliver.
And Rick, interesting, you know, the Cup cars have 5-speed transmissions. This is the old school 4-speed, and that matters because it puts you in a really awkward ratio for the restarts. It kind of gets a little awkward in turn 1, whether you use first or second gear. So things that are normally relatively straightforward can be more of a challenge here. That includes pit road, getting out of your pit stall. Not only are you pitting backwards, but it's really easy to stall the car.
It doesn't take long until the drivers will be tested. After this long front straightaway, it will be a hard braking zone in turn 1. Again, Ty Gibbs and Alex Bowman making up row 1. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at the Glen. Gibbs hard into turn number 1. He has the advantage as they go through 1, and now some off track headed up to turn number 2.
Ty Gibbs trying to get away. And it's Justin Allgaier slips through and by Daniel Hemrick for second. Hemrick will fall to third. You've got Kyle Busch right there in fourth. They snake their way through turns 3 and 4 and now race their way up the backstretch for the very first time.
Good tight racing there for third. Kyle Busch looks a little bit offline, not going to make a pass here. First lap of the race. Good veteran move there to be patient as everybody comes through the chicane. A lot of cars back in the back half of the field, already bringing a lot of dirt onto the racetrack, trying to run side by side all the way through the bus stop.
See right here, we're riding along with Parker Kligerman, trying to get that right side against that curb. This road that Parker was in was caught a break. The whole road moved forward because the second qualifier, Bowman, the fourth qualifier, Custer, had to go to the back. So that whole row that they were in moved forward 2 spots.
And at turn number 7 is Ty Gibbs with the advantage, but he has not been able to pull away from Allgaier. Allgaier has stayed right in his tire tracks. As a dicing for position, Riley Herbst moves to the way inside, 3 wide as they go to turn 1.
John Hunter Nemechek's going to jam it into the bottom of Riley Herbst. Side by side out of 1. They will race. Herbst now goes to the escape action, but they stay side by side into 2. That's very rare here at Watkins Glen. You want to be single file the S's. Nobody giving an inch. John Hunter Nemechek has to. Austin Hill in the 21. He'll race side by side with John Hunter. That's out of turn 4.
And all of that momentum that John Hunter lost, he's going to lose positions. All the cars coming from behind till we finally get to this part of the racetrack. We're able to fall in line, sort of regroup. 21 car of Austin Hill off track a little bit there. Going to cost him a little bit here and be on the defense through the carousel.
As they head down here toward turn 6, you can see John Hunter aggressively trying to get underneath Austin Hill. That's a great example of you trying to make a pass and you lose that momentum and it actually costs you a spot. You have to understand when the time to take a move is and when you shouldn't.
Well, a relatively calm first lap for some, but some beating and banging for others. The 48 of Kligerman goes over the curb and catches the door of the 2 of Sheldon Creed. Take another look. 2 wide going in there, and basically, you know, there's just not enough room. It's really no one's fault, but to go through there in the preferred line using both curbs, it's very difficult for 2 cars to fit, much like it is here in the S's.
Watching the field come up to the S's here for the 3rd time of the afternoon. Pretty much a single file affair as they funnel out onto the back straightaway, trying to catch the front 2 of Ty Gibbs and Justin Allgaier.
Kyle Busch and Sam Mayer already got by Hemrick there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Josh Berry under attack from Sammy Smith. That's been a good battle to watch. Right behind them, Riley Herbst, the 21 of Austin Hill. John Hunter Nemechek under pressure from Creed for 10th.
Yeah, Creed's had a good start to this race. Picked up a few spots. Now the skill of trying to outbrake somebody, gain some ground on corner entry without missing the braking zone and driving through the corner. That's so important on road courses. That's how you make passes, and that's how you make lap time.
Kyle Petty said there's only been 5 races so far in the season where Sheldon Creed has been mistake-free, and the team hasn't had any issues. Well, he's showing aggression early on as he went side by side with Kligerman through the bus stop earlier to take that spot, but now here comes Parker Kligerman closing the gap on Creed.
Parker pouring on the coals. He's trying to take the 11th spot away from Sheldon Creed. Parker actually lost a car length, maybe 2, when he went off turn number 1. So they'll try to regain that ground back and try to close in on Sheldon Creed as Creed tries to overtake John Hunter Nemechek.
And you see so many different lines coming out of turn 1, and that wide exit of 1 sets you up for a fast run up through the S's. Great battles here as the cars drive through the chicane. Nobody's had any trouble. We usually see a lot of cars get spun out earlier in this race trying to battle through here. So far, just a lot of cars dropping tires in it. Oh, now we got a car going around in the chicane here. Looks like the 6th car. And Brendan Poole's been turned around. Some contact through the middle of the chicane. He gets underway and carries on.
Brendan Poole, you can see he's taking his car around, trying to figure out how much damage there is to the car. Hoping it's not bad. Don't see any real damage. Let's go back and see what they did. Junior's talked about it, side by side in that inner loop. It's hard to go through there by yourself, much less side by side.
Contact made with a 96 of Max McLaughlin, and so they got it straightened back out again.
Yeah, the tough part, Roll, you see right here, Hemrick under attack again. This car is fading back through the pack. Just not handling really good. Doesn't look comfortable for Daniel. Lost a few positions and now got 3 cars pounding him from behind. Herbst right there side by side with Sammy Smith. They're going to sort it out. He's going to now look to the inside, try to outbrake him down in this corner, Jeff.
Yeah, heavy braking zone right here. He did not push the issue. They all got caught up behind Hemrick. Now, Austin Hill trying to take the fight. he decides to be smart and not go side by side at 7.
5 laps complete on lap 6 here at the Glen for the Xfinity Series, and it is definitely a party, a good tailgate party at the Glen. Left and right turns, and stage 1 underway. NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, and motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com. 7 laps complete, 13 still to go in stage 1. Remember, there aren't stage breaks at road courses. So once we get to the end of stage 1, they will stay green, and you'll be able to accumulate points. The top 10 getting points, and right now Ty Gibbs is pulled away from Justin Allgaier by 2.7 seconds, and it was closer than that when we went away.
Yeah, this 11 of Daniel Hemrick, the white car with the kind of blue on the right side there, the car on the inside. He seems to be struggling a little bit with the balance and doing the best job he can, but it is a stack up behind him as you ride on board the 48 of Kligerman right here. You see Sheldon Creed trying to tiptoe his way through. Everybody being somewhat polite, and during break, the 24 of Connor Mozak was running just outside the top 20, and he gets right here into the inner loop, overcooks the inner loop, and actually does a nice job of only involving himself. It was a mistake without a doubt, but you know, right here, easily Stephen Parsons could be collected in this, and I mean, that's what happens, right? He continues to turn right to miss Stephen Parsons, and he spins out. Stephen doesn't know how close he was to being part of this incident. Also during it right here, the 10 of Kyle Busch just gets a little driver left. No real damage. The concern is the grass. You see it right there. While the grill screen catches it, if you do that enough all day, it filters into the grill screen. It'll actually start to fill the radiator. Then your car will overheat, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. You can't get more air into it because it will be behind in the ductwork.
What a battle right here. Sammy Smith trying to hold Austin Hill off. Austin Hill almost into the rear bumper through the carousel. Did not touch him, but all sorts of pressure. Sammy Smith's going to have to be perfect. Austin Hill's going to try to lift a little bit early and turn before Sammy Smith to try to get underneath him. Sammy defends.
You look on the left, biggest movers, Cole Custer went to the back due to that leak. They had to repair up 21 spots. Moffitt and Bowman. Bowman also in the back up 14. Custer's all the way up to 15th, Rick. Super impressive.
Big run, and again, another braking zone here in turn 1. Hemrick on the outside in the 11 shoots way out up against that outer wall.
And Cole Custer is in the middle of this mess going through turn 2. They are stacked up now as they go up the hill. Cole trying to find his way through, while at the same time Daniel Hemrick in the 11 backsliding just a tad. You got Jeremy Clements in the 51. Free wide action up the backstretch.
As these drivers go through the bus stop right here, the problem is the track is dirty from all sorts of cars going off track. We got another car spun around. 2 cars off in the middle of the bus stop. Looks like it's a 16 there, Smith. It's going to cost him many spots. And then, the 51, the right front tire flat on Clement's car. Just so many ways to have issues in this particular part of the racetrack. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened. Yeah, Clements thinks that he's clear on the inside, and he moves down. Just some contact. Oh, he already had the flat tire, misses the corner entirely. That was just a lot going on there. And then look how dirty this racetrack is. All of the grass. You can't run offline here. You're going to have problems, lose a lot of traction. But Clements blows the right front tire. Marty, what you got?
Rough few minutes for Kaulig Racing Jr. You saw Chandler Smith spin right there. Now Kyle Busch here on pit road came on the radio, said, I have a flat tire. He was saying the car handling-wise extremely free. They got all that grass off the grill, as you see. A massive adjustment here, trying to tighten up the 10th car for Kyle Busch. We'll see which tire was indeed flat.
The disappointment for this is with 72 laps to go. You see Jeremy Clements now coming into the service of his crew. 72 laps to go. I'm just not sure these guys can make it on one more stop. We'll have to wait and see, but that makes this an even bigger penalty for the 10 of Kyle Busch.
They would need some cautions, right, Steve?
A lot, yeah. Well, we think they could go 31 or 32. That's like 8 laps short, so We'll have to see what they'll do. But on board with Parker Kligerman, still trying to work his way up here. Right in front of him, I believe that's the 18 of Sammy Smith. Sheldon Creed just in front of him. This is that turn one Parker mentioned in the pace laps. He thinks this is the most important quarter, not only for the braking zone, but for the exit of this corner because it leads over to the S's.
So different lines drivers taking as we see him coming back online into turn two.
And that is the bottom of the S's. Watching Parker Kligerman there in the 48. We got Sheldon Creed at the 2 in front of him, but here comes Cole Custer in that 00. He's won twice already this year on road courses, trying to get himself back to the front, trying to get him a third.
And this group, you know, this is a battle right around the top 10, but they are 20-some seconds, 22, 23 seconds behind the leader. The top 5 are so spread out and driving away. While all these drivers right here have raced so hard, side by side through most of the racetrack, it's cost them a ton of distance to the lead.
Yeah, there has been a hard fight. Look at this right here. Look at this battle into the inner loop. Sammy Smith out of control, and then Riley Herbst using all the racetrack contact right there. Fortunate both of those guys didn't go around. Watch this contact right here. Just right there. The 98's lucky he didn't go around. But that has been a fierce battle. And look at that blue and white car of Cole Custer. He had to start in the back, and he has driven all the way to 11th place. And they know he is here. How demoralizing. You look in the mirror, you know he had to start in the back. And in this few laps, 13 laps, he's already caught you.
Yeah, Custer 25 points or positions made up since the start of the race. And now he's trying to put a little more pressure onto Parker Kligerman. Marty.
And Rick, let's just clean up what happened with Kyle Busch. It was not a flat tire. It was all the debris, that grass that was on the grill. The brakes were heating up, and the temperature inside the water certainly heating up as well, Dale Jr. So they had to pit for that. And I did confirm, Junior, they are 8 laps short from making it on one more stop.
Yeah, that's pretty compelling. We have to remember that really affects their race. There will be no stage brake cautions to be able to allow them to catch up and regroup. We see Clements battling with cars, the lead lap cars.
Still out front, it's Ty Gibbs, and he's moved from 6th to 4th in all-time road course laps led. He just passed Ron Fellows and Kyle Busch. Ty Gibbs with almost a 4-second advantage over second place Justin Allgaier. And normally when things run as well as they're going for Ty Gibbs, guys are pretty quiet on the radio. Dylan, is that the case with Ty today?
Well, he has been quiet, and the only real conversation has been his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, telling him, when your lead gets to 3 seconds, start to save me some fuel, so our fuel stop will be just a little bit shorter and we have to fill it up. Well, Ty did that. His rhythm and his lap times are so good, the gap has continued to grow now to almost 4 seconds. So things are going well for the 19, Marty.
Dylan, we talked about what a critical race this is for Riley Herbst. Just 34 above the cut line, had top 10 times earlier on. In fact, 5th fastest lap time last time. But is there a problem inside the 98? Listen on the radio.
Piece of junk transmission. You know what you got. Stay with it here. You can do it. I think it must have hopped out the bus stop again. Yeah, I figured.
So Dale Jr., what's going on is that the car's hopping out of gear when they go over those curves you showed us earlier in the bus stop. So how would you keep it in gear all day long? Still 66 to go. Long way to go in this race for Riley Herbst.
Yeah, you're going to have to drive with one hand if that gets much worse, and that will get worse. Usually when you tear up the transmission or use it up, beat it up, those gates, they no longer hold the car in gear. Lifting on and off the throttle, going over curbs, all of those things can let the car come out of gear unknowingly. And so at some point, I mean, he really has to drive this race one-handed, holding that car where it needs to be, is whether it's 3rd or 4th gear.
Right now he's running in the 7th position right now. He's got Sheldon Creed behind him, doing a good job here in the S's, keeping that car dialed in to the bottom portions of the curbings, whether they be driver's left or driver's right. He right now is running in the 7th spot, 25 seconds behind the race leader.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what the leaders have been able to do in just a short amount of laps, driving away. The rest of the field is absolutely going to need some sort of a yellow, some sort of a sequence to allow them to gather back up, get back into this race. The 2 of Creed getting right to the back bumper of Herbst right there. It's going to cost him on corner exit, though, as he drives away.
Yeah, Riley Herbst and Sheldon Creed both are in position to earn stage points with only 3 to go. And Parker Kligerman is not in the top 10. So both of these drivers can finish this stage out. That's an advantage to them. Parker talked about it. They have good finishes, but they just need stage points. And right now, not on cue to get it.
And we ride along with the Xfinity Mobile onboard of Parker Kligerman, right now running in the 11th position. The top 10 spots will all get stage points, so that will hurt Parker Kligerman's hunt to get into the playoff picture as he makes a pass there. But Kligerman still running in that 11th spot. Sammy Smith just in front of him.
Here they come now into turn 2. Parker making the pass around Sammy Smith. So Parker breaking his way into the top 10. Now, once he's made the pass and is starting to pull away, he's got a long gap before he gets to Cole Custer in 9th. But good news for Parker, at least here in the early going.
Yeah, he gets around Sammy Smith, and that allows that car to get some clean air, not just for the aerodynamics, but the brakes and everything. This thing's going to perform and drive and steer way better in this clean air. He should be able to drive away from the 18 rather easily. Parker, a great little road racer. These are his opportunities to shine, if not try to win some races. Yeah, and you mentioned, not a lot of contact right here with Herbst and Creed. Still contact, banging into each other in turn 6. Creed has the preferred spot. Getting into turn 7.
As they come out of 7, Creed sliding up into Herbst, almost into the wall as they come off of 7. A drag race down the front stretch again. We'll see who has advantage when they go into turn number 1. It looks like the 2 of Creed is going to outbreak the 98 of Herbst, but they've got the 00 of Custer right behind them.
As the race for the 7th spot, Creed will slide through. He'll grab 7th. Now they're side by side for 8th right there. You've got Cole Custer. You've also got the Riley Herbst car, the 00 and the 98 stacked up there. They will thin this battle down. That was some hold your breath racing coming out of turn number 1. Sheldon Creed's been able to capitalize.
Here it is right here, what we saw just a minute ago down the back straightaway. And I don't know if Herbst is doing that intentionally off the get-go, but we heard the frustration in his voice with the transmission, and I like it. I want to see some fire from this driver. He's improved a lot this year, but we need to see that aggression out on the racetrack. See him go out there and take the argument and take the fight to some of these other drivers, and he's showing it today. Custer right now hounding Creed. Now Custer has a much faster car, and the 98 of Herbst and the 48 of Kligerman are both Cole Custer fans right now. Get underneath him, take that point away.
And already Gibbs is on the final lap as these guys are crossing the start-finish line. They're now on the final lap of stage 1. But again, there won't be a break. It will just end, and the top 10 will earn stage points as this continues to heat up. Custer able to clear Creed as he goes into 2.
What a march forward for Cole Custer. Had to drop to the back at the initial start of the race and has driven his way all the way into the top 10. Right now he is 7th, having just put Sheldon Creed in the rear view mirror. To Jeff Burton.
Well, way ahead of those guys is Ty Gibbs coming to get the checkered. He is out here rolling a 4-second lead over Allgaier, coming to get this stage win.
They've got a half a lap lead over the gentleman we were just talking about. They were running in 10th and 11th. So Ty Gibbs is grabbing his 4th stage win of 2023. And again, being a full-time Cup Series driver, he doesn't gain any stage points. So that will actually take away stage points from people who are running a little bit further in the top 10. Allgaier, Sam Mayer in 3rd. Josh Berry is 4th. As we see this battle continuing to heat up. Creed just in front of Herbst. Creed able to stay in front of Custer as well as they cross the stripe.
We just saw Custer go by both of these cars. He's back behind him again because he missed the carousel the last time by. Now that's put him in a position where, as the faster car, having to do all this work over again. So we're watching both cars, top of the screen, just gets loose. That was very, very close to spinning the car out and ending up in the tire barrier. So a great save, but again, losing 2 positions that are hard to get.
See Alex Bowman in the 17, first to pit. Oh, the yellow out. Huge break for the 17 of Bowman, a huge break for the 16 of Smith, Dylan.
Well, and this is exactly what these guys needed as we see the stop car over there. The 17 crew needed some help on the strategy, and I think they just got it.
Yeah, that's going to be a big advantage. Sorry, Rick. So because these cars were already on pit road when the yellow came out, they're going to be able to perform their service and rejoin the racetrack. So as long as they stay in front of the 19, it's going to be a huge break. I think the 17 pulled that off. Unfortunately for the 16, I believe he's gone a lap down through this cycle. So it's going to be good break for one, bad break for the other, Marty.
Yeah, Steve, that was very interesting. A lot of drivers were reporting oil on the racetrack. So a number of teams were planning to come to pit road the next time by, including Austin Hill, the regular season points leader so far, because they saw that oil evidently from the 43 car on the racetrack, but the 43 car gave up the ghost before everybody could get to pit road. So that's why you saw Alex Bowman, those other cars come to pit road. They were trying to beat the caution they thought was coming out, Steve.
Well, that's great. Great call for these guys. The trick is you have to be close enough to do it. You lose about 40 seconds, 40 to 42 seconds to pit, which normally you don't worry about on a 75-second lap. But when you have a leader as fast as Ty Gibbs, I mean, you heard the guys in the corner say it, 5th, 6th, 7th place were 25 to 30, 35 seconds behind. So, I mean, that's an amazing pace by the front 5 cars. Now we're here in the 16. Also is going to have a penalty, which it'll just put him tail end. He was in trouble anyway because he's going to be a lap down. Now he's going to be a lap down and tail end, which is going to make it tougher to get the free pass. He drove through too many boxes. You're allowed 3 boxes. Remember, drivers entering backwards. So the driver's still on the left side of the vehicle, turning in and out. It's a little bit different, right? Like, think about turning into a parking spot. You know where the left front tire is. But how about that right front? You know, when you back out, Rick, you try to pull forward and you don't know if you're going to hit that car you just backed out from. You know, that's as you creep by. These guys, same idea. You know, they can lose track of that right front corner and touch another box. I think we should have a look at it. So you're allowed to drive through 3. Let's see right here. Oh, see, he just goes straight through. He goes through a whole bunch. So, and it's just a mental error because it's just unnatural being on the wrong side. You really need to, you know, really turn left and get out. But at this time, he probably hears the cautions coming out. He knows he's a lap down. It's not going to be a huge penalty, but a penalty the same.
So the field tucked in behind Ty Gibbs, and we'll see quite a few of them making their way onto pit road when they get around to it. Well, fans, download the official app of NASCAR. You can follow the racing action with free live scoring. There's in-car cameras and a radio broadcast. You can upgrade to premium for full access to driver audio channels and an ad-free experience. I'm sure a lot of those folks that are up there on their campers are taking advantage of it. All you have to do is search NASCAR in your app store and start a free trial today.
So now you have Alex Bowman is going to be able to stay on the racetrack and probably become the leader or maybe second when all these guys pit. It'd be interesting to see what Kyle Busch does. Remember, he was short on fuel. Maybe they just do gas only here. Maybe they stay on the racetrack. But right now, all the leaders on pit road, Dylan.
And all the momentum with Ty Gibbs, winner last week, has been in control so far today. Just said it was a little bit snug for the 19 car. They'll change Goodyears and add Sunoco fuel, Kim.
Justin Allgaier in that middle box. He said he's loose to the right-handers, tight to the left-handers, a little bit bouncy in the bus stop. The call is for 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. There was a chassis adjustment called too, trying to go one up left rear, Marty.
An impressive first run for Austin Hill, who was worried about an adjustment they made during qualifying, but in the second half of the run, he was one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. All these cars pitting here after 22 laps completed here at Watkins Glen. Kyle Busch also on pit road right now as well.
Big Ten football is coming to NBC and Peacock. The first game has the Mountaineers of West Virginia visiting the Penn State Nittany Lions. The premiere of Big Ten Saturday night. That's September 2nd on NBC and Peacock. Either in the grandstands or around the track, you're watching the Shriners Children's 200 at the Glen. As we look at the stage points earned, Allgaier grabbing 9 for his second place finish, all the way down to Parker Kligerman getting a very helpful point there, finishing in the 10th spot. And out front right now, Alex Bowman and Ty Gibbs scored 1 and 2. We go to the Peacock pit box. Kyle Petty, Brad Daugherty. We expected the Cup guys to play into the result of how this race is going to play out. Did we expect Ty Gibbs to be as dominant?
Somebody needs to tell Ty Gibbs to go have lunch or something, man. He just run off and left the field, but he is dominating. Obviously, I think the best racings is 6 through 12.
Yes.
Where you got Nemechek, Custer, Creed, Parker Kligerman, all those guys. They're going at it really hard, Mayer. They're getting after it. So it's been fun to watch those guys, but boy, Ty is hauling the mail around.
Yeah, they do know this is not the last race before their playoffs because those guys are racing in that cluster right there. Yeah. Those guys are racing like it's the last lap and everything is on the line. And for a lot of them, for Custer and for Herbst, for Kligerman, it basically is all on the line. I've been impressed with Ty Gibbs' speed. To pull that far away, to pull 20-some seconds ahead of the fifth-place guy, that's impressive, guys.
It is, and we'll see what the good fortune of being on pit road for the 17 of Alex Bowman, how that will play out. And speaking of, let's go to Dylan with more.
Well, and remember, they were one of the cars that started at the back of the field due to unapproved adjustments. So Alex had driven to about the top 15, but wasn't thrilled with the balance of his race car. Just said they were a little bit tight on that run. But remember who the crew chief is of this race car, Greg Ives, who, of course, worked with Alex for a long time on the Cup side of things. They've been so close to a win this year in this 17 Hendrick car. And Alex and Greg both said, I really would like to get a win for this program this year. And Greg said, we're going to need some help because of because of where we start. And I think he just kind of took matters into his own hands there by getting the 17 onto pit road.
All 4 Hendrick cars have driven, or excuse me, all 4 Hendrick drivers have driven this car number in this entry in Xfinity Series races. Chase was the lone driver who said, I'm going to do it in an oval. I'm going to do it at Pocono. Right. The other 3 all doing it at a road course.
You see the drivers to win in the 17. Kenseth Waltrip and Terry Labonte. The 17 on that car for Alex Bowman in honor of the late Ricky Hendrick. That was the number that he raced when he was running the Truck Series, won with a similar paint scheme in the Truck Series. And so that is why the 17, fielded by Hendrick, is out there on the track with these guys behind the wheel.
So we talked a lot about strategy to start. Well, here you have it, right? 1 pit stop behind you, 59 laps to go. Everybody in the field needs to make 1 more pit stop on fuel. Everybody's bunched back up. Marty.
Steve, real quick, want to show you the left front from John Hunter Nemechek's car. They just pulled off. This is a blister. It is not a flat spot. So would that concern you as a crew chief? You just pulled that off. John Hunter did say it had a vibration. I didn't know it would be that bad. So would that be concerning for you, Mr. Crew Chief? Oh, wow. What happened there with a 92?
Josh Williams, severe and extensive damage to the front of this car. So they put the caution back out, lights back on the pace car. But a huge problem for Josh Williams.
Well, we see a couple cars coming to pit road as well. I don't know if Josh Williams was trying to get caught up and just came around the corner and didn't know the field was there. But obviously some heavy damage. The 25 of Moffitt's on pit road now. I'm not sure if that's who he hit.
Yeah, I don't see enough damage to the back of the car.
They don't seem like
there's
they
a
fit,
lot of
right?
damage to the front of that 92.
Yeah, that 92 is destroyed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's the choose for this racetrack is exiting the bus stop over here before the carousel. And a lot of cars, especially like probably the last 12 cars of the field, almost have to come to a complete stop because of the process of the choose and everybody making up their decision about being able to go left or right. All of the back half of the field almost has to come to a complete stop. So then, once they do decide left or right, they all then try to catch up back to the field coming around the chicane or the carousel headed to turn 6. I'm not sure if somebody just wasn't paying attention, but let's take a look here. Yeah, so as these cars are all trying to catch back up with the field, there's another sort of domino effect that's causing that issue. And if you're not really paying attention, you're going to run into the front of the car in front of you.
Well, the 25 of Moffitt looked like they had a different issue. I saw them jacking up, turning tires. So I don't know if they have a brake issue or a broken axle. Something is amiss on the 25, Dylan.
It's a broken axle, Steve. So you see them going behind the wall. They're going to try to get this sorted out and get Brett back on the racetrack.
So, Rick, basically when they jacked up the left side and were turning both tires, that tells me that sometimes if you have a brake issue, like you don't think the front of the rear are working, you would jack it up, slowly push on the brake pedal and make sure the front and the back stop together. Or with one rear tire on the ground, you should feel the locker inside the rear gear. So it had to be one of those two issues. Sounds like it's an axle. This car right here, Rick, it had to knock the radiator out of it. You put the Speedy Dry down, so unfortunate for Josh Williams.
Yeah, so the Speedy Dry was going down. They're going to clean the track off a little bit before the green flag will fly. Once again, we'll take a quick break. NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the credit card company, and by the new movie Gran Turismo, based on a true story, only in theaters August 25th.
Rick, you sure I can't go hang out with those guys back there at the bus stop? Because
I'm sure you'd like to.
I think they're saving me a seat. There's an empty seat right there in the front.
I think they saw very clearly what happened to the 92 of Josh Williams. Let's take a look at what happened.
Yeah, so this is the 44 of Stephen Parsons, and you're going to be shocked to see, I mean, some damage, but nothing compared to the 92. So all the way at the top of the screen, you're going to see everybody start to check up. And the 25 of Moffitt right there, you can see just to the side of Stephen Parsons the heavy damage to Josh Williams. And we heard over the radio he had said that he was adjusting something inside the car, a helmet hose or something, and was literally just not looking up.
And barely even bent the light that's on the back of that car.
There's your lesson for teenage drivers. Stay off your phone. Don't adjust the radio. Even a professional race car driver can rear end somebody at the slowest of speeds.
Kim.
Well, talking with Justin Allgaier this morning, he said he felt like it was going to be a battle for the win between himself, Ty Gibbs, and Alex Bowman. And now with Bowman back towards the front, we'll see what these three do in terms of a tango. But Justin said there is an even bigger battle, the regular season championship. He felt like he was going to have the advantage over Nemechek and Hill. But look out, because they found themselves both in the top 10. Dylan.
Instruction to Sheldon Creed from his team: find the car's weakness in front of you and make the pass. Do not waste time. Sheldon said earlier this weekend we should run top 5 at every road course, but stuff always seems to happen to us. We've got to make sure that things go our way today, Marty.
Dylan, let's finish up the conversation with Steve here. This blistered left front tire for John Hunter Nemechek, a concern for you or not? Left front tires don't normally flat spot here, Steve. Would you be concerned by that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit concerning. I don't think the blister itself would call a failure, but now, to Marty's point, the left front normally doesn't flat spot with so many right-hand corners. But now, if you do get it sliding on one of those blisters, that could be an instant flat tire.
Getting ready for the restart. Again, we're in stage 2. Alex Bowman and Ty Gibbs making up the front row. Bowman on the inside, Ty Gibbs on the outside as they go in the restart zone. Back underway. On the inside in the 17, Bowman. And the 19 of Gibbs charging into turn number 1 on the outside. And he is going to take the advantage as they go into turn 2.
Wow, what a power move by Ty Gibbs around the outside of Alex Bowman. He will go to the lead. Bowman now will fall in. He's in that 17 car. He's second. And the 7 of Justin Allgaier, that bright orange car, he'll settle in third out of turn 4.
Further back, Austin Hill in the 21 takes the spot away from the 8 of Josh Berry. Great battle right there. Creed right behind that 8 car as we watch the 48 and the 1. Side by side, the 26, Kaz Grala in the 18 car. Sammy Smith down into the corner now. All these cars getting through here good and clean. Good battle. This guy's really door to door. Very respectable. Parts flying off the car there, off the carousel. Cole Custer trying to get by the 2 of Creed. He's going to put tons of pressure on him. Cole Custer now with track position. He's going to be dangerous the rest of this race.
Saw some parts fly. I also saw some smoke through the bus stop. I don't know. It looked like it was around the 1 of Sam Mayer or the 98 of Herbst. A lot of beating and banging. We'll have to see if somebody continues to have an issue.
Custer to the inside of Creed trying to take that spot away.
Here they come now out of 1. They'll funnel out into the entrance to the S's. S's turn 2. That's the right-hander right there. They'll single out in single file. Just watching John Hunter Nemechek in the 20, Riley Herbst in the 98. That's the stacking up of traffic from 8th on back, and a spot up for grabs just outside of the top 10 with Kaz Grala going at it right there.
Yeah, these two continue to battle side by side into the bus stop. Beating and banging right there, way offline. Sammy Smith is going to give up a couple spots, at least one there to Hemrick. And that's how it works, man. 2 cars side by side into the bus stop. Somebody's going to end up mad. Yeah, if you Kaz Grala, get away from the guy that's mad. You know Sammy Smith is a little upset at you. Don't ever let him get next to you. You got to drive hard to keep him from getting by. There he is by the 11 car. So now he's lined up behind you. Get some speed. Get away from him.
Well, I mentioned some beating and banging between the 1 of Sam Mayer and the 98 of Riley Herbst. Well, this is climbing the S's. It's a tough place to be side by side, but we've seen some of the biggest names battle here. And you see, oh man, the 98 thought he was totally clear, was trying to get to the right. Oh, this would be a great look right there. Good job by Sam Mayer to realize he was running out of real estate and got out of the gas. And then we saw this debris right here. Can't tell exactly. Oh, looks like some brake hose. So orange hose they put, it's either for the brakes or sometimes it'll be an extra hose cooling the caliper or even the bead of the tire. We'll have to see how that becomes an issue later in the race.
See Sam Mayer in that blue and black car, the #1 car. He lost 7 spots on pit road that last exchange, and now he's got to go try to gain them. Almost a 20-second pit stop. You saw him racing Riley Herbst, very aggressive racing. Now he's got to take the fight to John Hunter Nemechek to go get those spots back. So frustrating as a driver, running well and got barred back in the pack. Just going to say he's going to go well on pit road, but you can't push too hard. This is an aggressive move right here. Nope, falls in behind John Hunter. Be patient, Sam. Got a fast race car.
Patience for a race car driver. I love when drivers say that, as we see Sam Mayer now once again within about 10 feet of John Hunter Nemechek. As Nemechek looks to the inside, he's going to try to take the position away from Creed. They make contact. Nemechek surging ahead.
And that is the race for the 7th position. John Hunter Nemechek just took it. Oh, Sam Mayer trying to squeeze to the inside of Creed and take that spot. He can't do it. And now he's got Riley Herbst right there. They are lined up at Sheldon Creed's back door as we go to pit road in Q.
And talking with Sam Mayer this morning, he said the word of the week for he and the team was tidy, staying clean through the bus stop, through the S's, all throughout the course. And now that he's mired back and has a little bit more to get through, we'll see if that word of the week can still come into play and if he can race cleanly up through the field. Jeff.
Well, he's a good road racer. Did a great job, won Road America. He's been in a roll lately. He struggled early in his career in the Xfinity Series, pushing hard, speed, but making mistakes. Starting to connect the dots a little bit, starting to get those finishes. Here he is underneath Creed. They're going to get bottled up right here. Can Riley Herbst get a big enough run to make it 3 wide?
Door to door for the position as Riley Herbst tucks in behind. Will he try to make a move and outbreak these two? But it's Creed on the outside, Mayer on the inside. Mayer with the preferred line, and we'll see how far out he pushes Creed.
And Riley Herbst just waiting to see what lane is going to open up coming out of turn #1, and none will going into 2. Thought Riley Herbst was going to start a run downstairs, could not do it. He's got to follow Creed into 2 through turn 3 into 4 as Sam Mayer begins to separate himself just a tad from this battle.
Creed had such a good race going, first 20-some laps, moving forward, getting a lot of great track position now. Finding himself a bit under attack. You can give Sam Mayer the foul. Man, somebody hits one of the banners back there. Kaz Grala knocked one of the Go Bowling banners up in the air. That's laying out on the racetrack right now. I think it'll be okay. All kinds of stuff happening back here.
You think it'll be okay? He hit a banner and it's in the middle of the racetrack. What are you talking about?
Ain't gonna bother nothing. Leave it there. It's fine.
Well, NASCAR decided that it might not be okay. So
I don't think it's the banner as much as whatever the sandbag or whatever it is that holds the banner in place. You're going to see right here, Grala sideways, and then he corrects to the left, and this is where he decides to pierce the grass, filling the grill, and then here it goes, advertising at its finest.
That's a 710 pickup right there.
So, yes. No, he missed it. He only got 1 pin. There was 2 signs. He only hit 1.
Okay.
Look at this replay right here. Was there contact? Remember, Sammy Smith and Kaz Grala were upset at each other earlier. Looks like Grala goes to turn, and Sammy Smith is there, and contact is made. And that sends Grala through the grass and knocking pins over. He's a pretty good bowler.
Well, water shooting up in the air, too, there. So whatever was trying to hold that down.
And Sammy Smith had damage on his car. The left front fender is damaged on it. This started several laps ago. They went through the inner loop side by side, banging doors, hitting each other. And now both of them have more damage.
A lot of grass on the front of the 26 of Grala, so he'll take that to the attention of his crew.
Yeah, Jeff pointed out about the damage. Look at that. It's more damage. It wasn't just slight contact. I mean, that is some heavy, heavy damage. Headlights pushed in, hoods up. Can't be helping his view.
Maybe a little retaliation that we're seeing right here.
Well, this is Kaz. Oh. Yeah, he feels that the 18, he's letting him know, hey man, I don't think that was just racing. I think you kind of sent me in there on purpose.
Marty.
Yeah, I think Kaz Grala feels like that was the 18's fault, not his. Here's what he said on the radio.
So the 18 retaliated in me for him stuffing it in on me.
So there you go. Kaz Grala not very happy with Sammy Smith. I'm sure Sammy Smith not very happy with Kaz Grala. A little hate going on right now here in the Xfinity Series. Grala will have to pit. The grass is just all over the grill. That's what they're talking about on the radio right now. So they will have to come down pit road here as he stalks right behind the 18 of Sammy Smith.
Yeah, in the end, I think the 18 had more damage than the 26. The 26 is really just a grass issue, although the grill looks relatively clean under yellow.
Let's listen into the 18 radio.
I honestly didn't even mean to hit him, but I got some foot damage. He just checked up hard and stopped.
It's well done. Sammy Smith has been taking notes that even if you meant to hit him, don't say it over the radio. So I give Sammy credit. I'm going to take it for face value so he didn't mean to hit it. Or he's at least clever enough as a young race car driver to not say it over the public airwaves.
See if anybody takes the right turn here onto pit road. And it looks like most of the front runners are going to stay out. Sammy Smith's going to go check out how much damage was to the front end of that. And Kaz Grala never gets old. Two by two once again as we get ready for the restart. Still 8 laps. It'll be 7 to go in stage 2 when they take the green. Up front, it's Gibbs and Bowman. And Gibbs, with an impressive restart the last time, was able to get in front of Bowman in turn 1 and never look back. Gibbs already has led 27 laps today. Bowman's been out front for 4 laps and Allgaier 1. Pace car off the track once again. As they get ready to come through the restart zone. Up through the gears they go, and Gibbs with a great restart. Into turn number 1. He's got a half a car length, and the fight for second is on. Allgaier to the inside of Bowman.
Alex Bowman just trying to hang on to that second spot, and he will not be able to in turn 2, but he's got lane choice for turn 3. Oh, and he's got to fall in right in line behind Allgaier. Almost clipped Allgaier in the middle of turn 4. That's the battle for second, stacking up into the interlude.
The 21's right there. He's going to think better of looking to the inside. Good side-by-side battles behind them for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. A lot of dirt on the racetrack, a lot of contact here. Car's trying to figure it out. The 2 and the 98 still going at it. A lot of hip checks right there. Parker Klingerman and Creed swapping a little paint coming out of the carousel.
Yeah, that wasn't a good exchange for Creed in that red and white car. He's probably a little frustrated. You said it earlier, Junior, losing spots on these restarts. Got a fast race car. Now he's going to push to try to get the spots back. Did nothing wrong there. It just didn't work out for him.
We'll see how Kligerman does. He's got Creed behind him. Again, those two right now are fighting for that 12th and 13th position. 12th spot is what they want to be in for the playoffs, as we see the 17 of Bowman get back by the 7 of Allgaier as they go into turn 2.
And that is the race for the second position as Bowman almost clips the wall. Now the lane is left open there for Justin Allgaier and company as Allgaier had a little problem coming out of turn number 7. That definitely opened up the lane for Alex Bowman, who would eventually take that second spot downhill into turn 1.
Now the 7's under attack from the 00. Cole Custer not able to do anything in the braking zone right there behind them. Sam Mayer trying to rebound from an issue on pit road. There's Nemechek trying to go the inside of the 8 there. He's in position to attack here on corner exit.
No one has had the pace of Ty Gibbs, but that 00 right there, I want to see if he can get clean air. Remember, he has driven through the entire field to get to 5th place. If he gets clean air, does he have the pace to keep up with Ty Gibbs. I suspect he might if he can ever get there.
And remember, Cole Custer has won 2 road course races already this year, Portland and the Chicago Street Course. So we'll see if Cole Custer, once he gets clear of Allgaier, if he can clear Allgaier, if he will have anything for the top 2.
This is the battle for the 4th position. Allgaier in the 7. He's in 4th. Cole Custer in the 00. He is 5th. They're up the hill now through turn number 3. And when Allgaier looks in the rearview mirror, Cole Custer has that mirror filled. You're watching the field snake their way through 3 and 4, heading up now, right now, through the back straightaway.
Nobody really able to close ground on Gibbs. The car's coming through the bus stop here. Bowman in 2nd, still 2 seconds back. Austin Hill now steadily moving through the field. This guy surprises us every week at tracks we don't think he usually runs well at or should run well at. And here he is running 3rd, stalking Bowman. What you got, Marty?
Hey, Junior, we've talked about the transmission issues for Riley Herbst. They're mostly happening right in front of you in the bus stop. What's going on lately with the 98? Listen in.
Transmission's not going to make it, Devin. It's all tight in between the gates, and it pops out. I can't even keep a race car in gear or shift it in what gear I want it to go in.
Use the brakes to slow the car down and not downshift it to help it last longer, you know what I mean?
So there you go. That's the plan for Riley Herbst. Tim Fedewa, his spotter, said, listen, we need these stage points. Right now he's in 9th. 4 to go here in the stage. He told Riley, you can do this. You're tough. He's having to hold it literally in gear, Bagman, when he's up in 4th gear.
Very impressive to have to do all that inside of the cockpit while all this is going on around him on the racetrack. Solid performance, at least right now, as he works his way into the inner loop.
And again, under 4 laps to go to the end of the stage, and Herbst trying to gain any points. Right now he's in the 9th position, able to gain 2 if he can stay there.
Why did we choose Safelite? For us, driving around is the only way we can get our baby to sleep. So when our windshield cracked, we can't drive this. We needed it fixed right. We went to Safelite.com. There's no one else we'd trust. Their experts replaced our windshield and recalibrated our car's advanced safety system. They focus on our safety, so we can focus on this little guy.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. Back in my day, we didn't have all these types of fancy chicken.
Pretty sure you have buffalo wings and fried chicken.
Well, we didn't have garlic parm or sweet bourbon barbecue.
And he had to walk uphill both ways.
And it snowed every time.
Yeah, right, Grandpa. You're from Miami.
Looks like you got a corner office. Lucky.
Be part of something greater.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
You've got the force field, the moat, the saucy sheriff. No matter your cookout plate strategy,
Bush's baked beans make burgers taste better.
I love me a saucy sheriff.
Are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight?
Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money.
Mara, your parents are...
Exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
There's a thin line in the NASCAR Xfinity Series between winning and losing, between being the future and being past, between headlines and tailspins, between making history and being it, between the sweet taste of victory and the fumes of defeat. In the NASCAR Xfinity Series, there's a thin line between being a name they know and being a name they'll never forget.
Under 2 laps to go in stage 2. You see the 98 smoking. That was moments ago.
So, Rick, there was reports about transmission issues. So when the car started to smoke, I think we all assumed, oh, as we see the 24 of Mozak straight off into the gravel. That looks like turn 6.
Yeah, he's right in front of me. He's kept it going. He's going to conquer the sand trap. So many people get caught in there and can't get out. Connor did a great job of staying in the gas.
He's going to leave a gift wrap present of gravel in turn 7 for whoever gets there. So back to the 98, we thought it was a transmission issue, but when he came to pit road, it had a broken track bar. That's why the rear tires are moving left and right. Tires smoke. I think this is a separate issue than the transmission. I'm not sure if they're connected, but either way, you see big issues for the 98. Marty.
Yeah, Steve, it is a separate issue. They had the transmission issue all day long that Riley Herbst fought through, and then this track bar issue now. You can see him. He can barely get a lap in on the track to get back to the garage area as Ty Gibbs flashes by to be able to win this stage. They were at the point when they had this issue, plus 40 above the cut line in ninth spot. Day over for Riley Herbst.
Day over for Riley Herbst. He'll take it to the garage as Ty Gibbs wins stage 2, so he sweeps the stages. Bowman in second, but remember, 2 Cup drivers, 1 and 2, so that pushes everyone else down as far as points that they'll be able to gain in the stage. By the way, a driver has never swept the stages and then went on to win at a road course, and that, Steve, obviously because strategy used to play out differently when you had to caution after each stage. Again, Connor Mozak, we saw him get into the gravel earlier. He was carrying our Toyota onboard camera.
Yes, this is heading down to turn 6, the left-hander. Oh, the 35 just moves him right. Looks like he gets his right sides in the grass. 35 is Stanton Barrett. And then, as Jeff says, he conquers the gravel. I mean, it looks like he just got moved over where his either right front, right rear, or the combination both get in the grass. Let's take a look. Yeah, you see the right rear's in the grass trying to slow down. That makes it want to spin out. He turns back to the right, really his only option. And off he goes into the gravel trap.
He brought a little with him back out onto the track. Plowing through the gravel, and I mentioned a little bit making it back out onto the track as we see Allgaier. They're chasing after the 00 of Cole Custer, and Custer now has moved up into the 4th spot.
Allgaier in 5th in the 7th. You got Sam Mayer there in the 1 car. He right now is in the 6th position. That battle has spread itself out, but Cole Custer Jr. is starting to slowly march in on the Austin Hill car in 3rd.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as Cole gets closer toward the front of the field if he can be able to take the challenge to Gibbs. Bowman's done a good job keeping that gap to Gibbs pretty decent. Nobody else has really had the speed of the 19 car. This 00, though, looks like he might have something for him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He had to work really hard to get by Allgaier. Kept pushing him and pushing him. Finally got by him. Gibbs still with that 3-second lead. He's out here being smart, making lap time, getting ready for tomorrow. Wants to win this race today in the worst way, but needs to win that race tomorrow. You can see a brake duct right here. It's right in front of you, Junior.
Yeah, it's more tire or more hose, brake hose. That could be front or rear. They run all kinds of hose all over these cars, but.
And that debris, I'm sure, Junior, isn't enough to bring out a caution, right?
Not enough. Not enough. We're good. Somebody's going to knock that out of the way, and we should be good to go.
Side by side, up through the S's. We see Bowman going by the lap car there.
Pretty interesting to see this 21 car of Austin Hill still keeping it close. The lap traffic's going to hurt him a little bit here. It's going to cost him a little speed through the bus stop. He'd love to be able to get around this 08. Will he get that opportunity? Yes, down here in the carousel. See, it's allowed the 00 to close in just a little bit. That's a couple of car lengths that it cost him. Now Cole Custer feels like he's part of this battle.
Yeah, he's right there because of that lap car. Remember, Austin Hill announced this week that he is staying at Richard Childress Racing to drive this Xfinity car next year. Signed a multi-year deal. Kept hearing his name for Cup car rumors, but ultimately made the decision to stay with RCR and keep driving this Xfinity car, Marty.
Yeah, Jeff, I asked Andy Street, his crew chief, about that. He said, I'm thrilled to have him back for a third season. The jump we made working together, Austin Hill and Andy Street, from year 1 to year 2 was dramatic. I think we can take another step like that next year. Austin Hill's biggest problem, Bagman, is right here, the exit of turn 1. They're telling him that's where we're losing our time, the exit of 1 and up through the S's.
And problem number 2 is Cole Custer in his rearview mirror. He's got a handful right now, Austin Hill does. And he looks in that rearview mirror. He's got another black and make that a blue and white car. Cole Custer closing in even more, angling up to try to get a good run into the inner loop.
Yeah, sometimes the drivers will get out of line just to fool the person in front of them, thinking they're going to charge the braking zone, or also to get some clean, cool air into the brake ducts, into the radiator. As Cole's pushing this car harder, going to add some more of the brakes, more temperature is going to build. That's a great way to kick the temperature out.
And good speed for Custer on the exit of that carousel. That's what we heard. Austin Hill's team said he was struggling on the exit of 1. So also on the exit of the carousel, both right-handers. So Cole Custer knows that. Trying to take advantage of him off turn 1, but to do it, you got to enter turn 1 very close to him.
And he's doing that right now as Cole Custer has closed the gap to about a car length. He'll look to the inside as they go into turn 1. That battle for third continues.
So it's decided. We'll park even deeper into parking spaces so people think they're open.
Surprise. Can't hear you, Jerry.
Sorry. Yeah, can we get a system where when someone's bike is in the shop, then we could borrow someone else's?
No.
Or you can get a quote with America's #1 motorcycle insurer and maybe save some money while you're at it.
All in favor of that?
There's a lot of buttons and knobs in here.
It's back. Applebee's all-you-can-eat boneless wings, just $12.99.
Cool nights start with Ashley this summer with Tempur-Pedic mattresses starting at $37 per month. Beautyrest Black starting at $45 per month. And Purple starting at $39 per month. Plus pay 0% interest for 60 months in-store only. Only at Ashley.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. You've got the force field, the moat, the saucy sheriff. No matter your cookout plate strategy,
Bush's baked beans make burgers taste better.
I love me a saucy sheriff.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready. Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
There's a buzz in the air at Kansas. Maybe it's the roar of fans here at the track, or the anticipation of the playoffs as drivers fight to move on to the next round and keep their championship hopes alive. Maybe it's the pulse of the heartland, the thrill of speed, or the sounds of grills sizzling in the campgrounds. Whatever it is, it will be one memorable weekend, and here's sooner than you think. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
Third caution of the day has come out. It's for Max McLaughlin here as we see so much damage to the 96. And take a look at why it happened.
Look up ahead. It just looks like either rear wheel lock up or wheel hop. You see pretty heavy contact, just some sort of an issue, either mechanical issue or just overdrove the entry, but pretty hard. Fortunate right there, those two cars mixed them. Max making his Xfinity Series debut. That's turn 7.
Big hit driver's side for Max McLaughlin. You see the AMR safety crew there helping him get out of that car.
It's put us in a real interesting spot in the race too.
As far as pit strategy?
Yeah, 36 laps to go. We think they could go, I don't know, 31, 32, 33. I've learned you got to kind of, you know, assume they could go a little further than they tell you. So I heard a lot of teams this morning say 31 was no problem, 32 is a stretch, maybe 33. So the problem is coming around to 35 to go, assuming they open pit road. That 96 is kind of in an odd spot, but I think we'll get pit road open.
Right now,
well, no, looking at it from this angle, this is a better angle. From where we sit looking back up, I thought there was some more room, and now that that tow truck is pulled up, we'll probably stay closed for a lap or two, which is going to get everyone very close to their fuel window. So I think you don't really have a choice. You're going to have to pit here and assume this is the spot, and you're going to get some yellows you hope to save.
And Steve, this puts the pressure back on the pit crews, because now coming onto pit road, you could gain 1, 2, 3, 4 spots with a good stop and lose 3, 4, 5 spots on a bad stop.
Yeah, under green, you know, so these are backwards pit stops, as we said. The driver is away from pit wall. The choreography for the pit crew is just awkward. We saw Suarez in the Cup race a week ago get a hose stuck under a tire. I blame the backwards pit stop and the choreography some for that. And Suarez said he was a little long. So under green, if you're a second or two slower, while it's a lot of time on the racetrack, it might only be 1 or 2 positions because you're kind of spread out. Under yellow, if you have a 2-second slower stop, it could be 10 or 12 actual positions on the restart. So to your point, challenge back on to the pit crew. And I think Smith is going to be very happy right here. Chandler Smith has been riding around. We're basically 1 lap down since he lost his lap, so this should put him back on the lead lap.
And again, it was Max McLaughlin who brings out this, the 3rd caution coming into turn 7, loses it, and driver's side door into the wall. They're attaining to him right now. Defending 200-meter world champion Noah Lyles leads the stars of Team USA as they take on the best athletes from around the world at the World Track and Field Championships. Coverage on NBC and Peacock tomorrow at noon and Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Well, Steve, you mentioned that they would be right on maybe the outside of being able to make it on fuel, but now that the safety crew has cleaned up turn 7, it looks like pit road will be open, and we'll see how these crews do when they come to pit road.
Yeah, it's going to be a full pit road. That's the other thing here at the road course. You know, 26 cars in the lead lap, so, you know, pit crew has to do their job. Drivers have to get in and out of their box the best they can. There's a lot of leaders or fast cars pitting next to one another.
Dylan.
Ty Gibbs, race leader, has had 0 complaints about his race car today. They'll change 4 tires and add fuel. Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief, though, told him as soon as you leave the box, start saving fuel. It's going to be really close. Kim.
You see the 00 of Cole Custer in the middle. He said it has really good fire off speed, just a little free at the end of the run, but not bad. I don't need changes. I just need track position. They're putting 4 fresh Goodyear tires on that Sunoco fuel, Marty.
The end of the run speed was the strength for Austin Hill in the first run of the day. They lost that speed on this run. He said the harder I push it, the freer it gets on exit, to the point Steve was talking about a moment ago with 34 to go. They cannot make it to the end, so we'll see what teams do if they take a splash and go coming up here in just a little bit. And how about that pit stop for Austin Hill's bunch? They gained 3 spots here on pit road, Rick.
First off of pit road, even in front of Gibbs. So far today, that hasn't mattered. Gibbs has been the class of the field, but we'll see if Austin Hill has anything for him as Custer is going to restart in 4th. We see the 44 here, Stephen Parsons, a 25-year-old out of Cornelius, North Carolina.
Yeah, he has a mechanical issue, some smoke pouring out of the left front. He comes to pit road. That's unfortunate for the 44. He was hit earlier from behind for Josh Williams. I don't think that was the cause of this, but you never know if they're connected. It's like a brake issue. And then the caution ended up coming out because of Max McLaughlin kind of getting high and hitting this wall in the same location.
Right there. Big hit for Max McLaughlin. And again, after pit stops, the race off pit road, there's Austin Hill winning by half a car length. And the crew celebrating. Let's check in on the Peacock pit box with Kyle Petty. Brad Doherty. All right, guys, a lot of action and 3 cautions already. A restart coming up. What are we going to expect?
All right, well, here's what I'm going to say. It's the closer we get to the end of this race, we've got Sammy Smith, Kaz Grala. We've got a lot of aggressive driving. We've got banners on the racetrack. We've got hose on the racetrack. We've got everything but cars on the racetrack. and it is just getting more and more intense. A devastating day for Riley Herbst.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Hate to see that for Riley. Boy, he was really hustling a good, fast race car early on, then has the problems. But for me, I'm looking at this. So Cole Custer finally gets a little bit of track position after he worked his way through the field. He's got a fast race car. I want to see what Austin Hill can do. Can he hold off Ty Gibbs on this restart? He seems to be somewhat fast, but I like the way the young man is plying his craft. He's getting better as a race car driver. He's got that extension. Let's see if he can go to work and possibly win this road race.
I'm going to say something. There's more elbows being thrown and more people in the lane than there is in an NBA game.
Absolutely.
And I'm used to what you play right now. It's going to get a little bit more intense.
It'll be 33 laps when they come back to the start-finish line.
Very quiet on the racetrack as everybody's coasting, saving some fuel. Guys towards the back of the lead lap will probably come back and top off either this time or the next time around.
Want to check in with the guys around the racetrack, and we'll start with the bagman back up in the S's. All right, it's been not calm, but we haven't seen too much bumping and banging in front of you, Baggy.
I would say this is the least of the aggressive parts of the racetrack, surprisingly so. Everybody's got to the S's relatively unscathed, haven't had a lot of drama at this end of the racetrack. Dale Jr., that's all been reserved for you and Jeff at your end of the racetrack, especially over there in the inner loop.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy over here. Always a lot of fun watching the guys try to get through the inner loop, and some of them make a lot of mistakes through here, but and it makes it interesting to watch. But so far, I mean, it's been your typical race, and it's caused some yellow flags. I didn't know if we'd get as many yellow flags today to really bunch up the field, give some strategies, different strategies, opportunity. But it's been pretty good so far this way, and over to Jeff.
Yeah, this racing has been good. Side-by-side battles, a lot of contact, a lot of door banging, some shoving from the back, and now it's getting toward the end. And Austin Hill sitting there with the lead. We've seen the advantage that Ty Gibbs has. His braking power into turn 1 has beaten everybody on restarts. Does Austin know that? He's got to outbrake. If he's got a shot, he's got to outbrake Ty Gibbs getting into 1. You can't give that up. If you let him in front of you, you're probably never going to get him back. Be aggressive right here on the start.
So Riley Herbst off the racetrack, in and out of the infield care center, and Dylan is there to talk with him.
Yeah, and they're loading the car up on the hauler behind us. So, Riley, what kind of challenge, first of all, was the transmission issues that we heard you battling? And then, ultimately, what are your thoughts, too, on your point situation now at just plus 15 as it stands?
Yeah, well, the transmission didn't take us out of the race. Unfortunately, I just kind of acted up all day from the first lap of practice to now. But I just landed into the carousel that last lap, and track bar mount where it welds to the fuel cell just broke in half. So took us out. But as far as the point situation, it's just frustrating. I don't think we should be in this position, Dylan, as it is. And so luckily next week isn't the cutoff line for the Xfinity Series, and we have some good tracks for us and good tracks for Stewart-Haas Racing. I'm excited, but it's just frustrating that things like this out of our control keep happening. And it'll turn around one day, and when it does, we'll be happy.
Thanks, Riley.
Yeah, Riley not involved in an accident. I had mentioned it in and out of the infield care center. He didn't have to go there. They had a car that broke, so he was in the hauler, came out and graciously chatted there with Dylan. As we look at the points, Herbst only 15 now in front of Kligerman. Right now, Herbst is scored in the 33rd position. There's a couple spots that he could fall, but at the same time, a pretty difficult day for Riley Herbst trying to stay in playoff contention.
Well, now Parker Kligerman, who we're looking at right here, he's currently 13th. He really needs to take advantage of this. He needs to finish there or try to be better. And you heard Riley mention Daytona is not the cutoff for the Xfinity Series. They have Daytona, Darlington, and Kansas. And I think that's a big opportunity for Riley to recover from this. It's also a big opportunity for Brandon Jones back there at 14th. He's currently minus 69. And when I think of Kansas, this is the name that continues to pop up. It's a track he runs really, really well at. So I think you need to be thinking more winners. Marty.
Steve, the most popular phrase I'm hearing on the radio right now, max save. Talking to crew chiefs up and down pit road, they're 3 to 4 laps short from making it to the end. My question to you, Steve, can your driver save you that much fuel here at Watkins Glen?
I think you can save a couple, 3 laps, but I think we're going to see some yellows. With 33 to go, I'm not sure we're going to go green to the end. It's been too rough as it goes.
Kyle Weatherman stayed out on the racetrack. That's why you see the 4 up here on the front row with Hill. And green flag back in the air. Look at Ty Gibbs in the 19. Makes it 3 wide as they go to turn number 1. A little contact there. Gibbs, can he clear the 21 of Hill? He does.
And he will reassume the lead. Austin Hill, after dealing with Kyle Weatherman, will fall in second. You see that first side-by-side battle. That is for the number 3 position. You got Alex Bowman getting by Cole Custer. Creed, Allgaier, they're all lined up as they get themselves sorted out after this most recent restart.
Allgaier down to the inside of Creed, thinks better about it going into the bus stop. 4-car still trying to hold his position. Getting a lot of pressure from Nemechek. Nemechek trying to get to the inside. Weatherman not going to let him have it. He's going to slide up the racetrack, though. The 20 cars through. Sam Mayer next in line.
And Sam Mayer's going to try to get a big run right here. Trying to get underneath the 4 of Weatherman. Outbreaking Weatherman in the corner deep, but not as deep as Mayer can get in there. Mayer clears him off the 6, and now the attack's coming from Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch in the LA Golf, number 10 there, as he was able to clear, and Smith right up against the wall as he came out of turn number 7. He's also trying to negotiate around the 4 of Weatherman as he continues to drop like a rock after the start of this one, riding along with Parker Kligerman in the Xfinity Mobile on board, and he's also going to get by the 4 of Weatherman as they go to 2.
Kyle Weatherman getting the shuffle backward, dropping anchor here after this restart. A lot of drivers just trying to find their way around him, and the more Weatherman holds them up, the more ground they lose. Here again, Kyle Weatherman in everybody's crosshairs as they leave turn 4.
Back up front, though, Austin Hill leads Bowman for the battle for second. Through the bus stop, Cole Custer back there in 4th place, waiting on these 2 to get the race in each other. Austin Hill slowly working his way toward the front. Great on restarts, hustling this race car, overachieving today in this 21.
Yeah, he is doing a good job, but Ty Gibbs took him to school on that last restart. Ty Gibbs started in the 2nd row and beat him into turn 1. If you're going to beat Ty with a better car, you can't let that happen. Can someone learn a lesson on these restarts and answer the call of Ty Gibbs?
Bowman putting a lot of pressure on Hill now for that 2nd position. Hill, remember, had the lead after he came off of pit road and gained 3 spots on Ty Gibbs. But now Hill under attack from the 17, and Bowman looking to get by.
That's a good 4-man battle for that 2nd spot. Austin Hill in the 21, Alex Bowman in the 17, Cole Custer in the 00, Justin Allgaier in the 7. That's about a 1.5 seconds, maybe a 1 6 seconds behind race leader Ty Gibbs as they start to dice it up out of 4.
They are losing a lot of time to Ty Gibbs. That 17 car filling up the rearview mirror of the 21 Austin Hill. Austin's having to be a little defensive, maybe overdriving the car just a little bit. Not able to make the lap time to keep the distance to Gibbs steady. Also getting a lot of pressure from the 00 Custer and Allgaier.
Yeah, Custer lost a few spots on pit road, so he fought hard to get track position, came to pit road, lost a few spots. You see right here, John Hunter Nemechek underneath Creed. Now Creed has the inside line. Sam Mayer trying to decide which car is going to go the best. He gets caught up behind the 2 car. Sam Mayer could have checked up a little bit, got the forward momentum, and gotten underneath the 2 car. Instead, he got in there a little too deep and wasn't able to take advantage.
Now he's going to try to outbrake the 2. Creed into turn number 1. And maybe a little more contact there as the 1 and the 2 fighting for position.
Side by side into 2. Sam Mayer in the 1 on the bottom. You got Sheldon Creed going to run him hard on the outside into 2. You don't normally see that here at Watkins Glen, but that's going to pay dividends for Creed. He'll be able to hang on to the spot. That would be the 7th position. Sam Mayer right now running in 8th.
Yeah, that's something new that we're seeing at this racetrack over the last several years, is a driver being able to defend on the outside of turn 2. And it really delays that opportunity for Sam Mayer in the faster car to be able to take this position and move on. So now this whole lap goes by as Sam tries to reposition himself for an opportunity to get around Creed.
Good run right here off the carousel. It's got a lot of forward momentum. Creed knows it. Creed blocks to the inside, does not give Sam the outside lane. That's a great defensive move right there by Creed. kind of took both lanes away from him.
The battle here between the 2, the 1, and the 18 of Sammy Smith. The driver missing. The 8 of Josh Berry, pitted from 7th, had a 20-second pit stop that's taken him outside the top 10. He's trying to recover as Sam Mayer pulls to the inside of Creed, tries to complete the pass into 1. Sammy Smith trying to follow him through.
Tight battle now for Mayer, for Creed, and for Sammy Smith. They stack it up now, coming into turn 2. Sheldon Creed, having been bypassed by Sam Mayer, just trying to stay ahead of the Sammy Smith car. To Marty.
Bagman, you see John Hunter Nemechek second in the regular season points, pitting here for fuel only. That will get them to the end. He can run hard, so that's an interesting dilemma, Junior. Do you pit here, or do you rely on cautions to get you to the end?
Yeah, that is a tough call to make. If you do pit, you're definitely going to need this race to continue green. This battle here continues. There are all kinds of different ways to exit the carousel.
Yeah, they're using every bit of the racetrack. An aggressive pit strategy, really, by Nemechek. But with all the wins, why not try to get aggressive, trying to do something different, Steve?
That's exactly right. So they obviously feel like they're too short to save or to get enough yellows. If I was within 2 laps, I would probably risk it. If I'm shorter than that, I would definitely come in and get gas. Now we're seeing another Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. So you would imagine similar fuel mileage?
Steve.
Yes.
So there's also a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota leading the race. This has got to be a tough situation for Gibbs. Kim.
And this is strictly a strategy call. They told Sammy on the radio it's going to be fuel only to get him to the end of the race, as he has a little trouble there firing off. Fuel only for Sammy Smith.
Well, Dale, you bring up a great point. The difference now for the Joe Gibbs Toyota leading is that if he runs out of gas with 1 or 2 to go, he can just shrug it off and go kind of back into running the Cup car tomorrow, because he's not running for points. Both of the full-time cars, they came and got gas. You wonder if that's the split in the strategy.
And remember, earlier in the race, Ty Gibbs was told, once we get a 3-second lead, let's go ahead and start conserving fuel. So the possibility exists they'll be doing that again, also with a 3-point lead again. Listen into the radio.
So we can't really save enough fuel to make it through. It's going to take caution. So, well, at this point, no, it's not going to happen. But at this point, it'd be better to save tires and fuel. So, yes, still saving would be a plus.
But can't save enough.
Well, can't save enough, and it's really hard to save enough when you run roughly, 3 or 4 tenths of a second faster than everyone else. But for what they're here to do, why not? Run this thing out. Let's see where it goes.
Gambling the option of a caution to come out.
Can't sleep.
Just a lot on my mind.
I can't sleep either.
It only gets tougher with age.
Mom, what?
Well, knowing Progressive can protect your home, auto, and business should help you relax.
Good, because I could use a good night's sleep.
Me too. You know how early a chimney sweep gets up every day?
Wait, is this all a dream?
Why would Jamie be in my dream?
I am America's biggest spokesperson.
Debatable.
I said biggest.
Well, he's got you there.
Applebee's all-you-can-eat boneless wings, just $12.99. Applebee's. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Hey, Dad. I got an A in my book report.
That's cool.
And I went for a walk in the woods, and I didn't get a single flea or tick on me.
You are just the best.
Right? I'm great.
You are great.
This flea and tick season, trust America's #1 pet pharmacy, Chewy.
Cool nights start with Ashley this summer, with Tempur-Pedic mattresses starting at $37 per month. Beautyrest Black starting at $45 per month, and Purple starting at $39 per month. Plus pay 0% interest for 60 months, in-store only. Only at Ashley.
Nice footwork. Man, you're lucky. Watching live sports never used to be this easy. Now you can stream all your games like it's nothing.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, here he comes. Go!
Yeah!
Running up and down that field looks tough.
It's a pitch.
Get way more into what you're into when you stream on the Xfinity 10G network.
This is it. One last chance at a playoff push.
We know what we can do. I'm ready to go to work.
A few familiar faces have already booked their tickets. Others are red hot at the right time. While a herd of hopefuls have some hard driving to do.
Around goes
Those last spots are gonna go quick, so don't blink.
The race to the NASCAR playoffs is on USA. The drama, the excitement, the characters. Next up, Watkins Glen, NASCAR, tomorrow on USA.
NASCAR Fan Rewards is free to join. You can earn points by watching races, answering trivia, playing fantasy, buying race tickets, and more. Save your points, trade them in for free tickets or autographed merchandise, with many more options. Visit NASCAR.com/fan-rewards. Ty Gibbs with a 3.2-second lead. He's led 50 laps already of the 58 that have been run. Want to take a look at the Toyota driver update.
Yeah, it's a little unfair to Nemechek and Sammy Smith, 25th and 26th. That's because they've pitted, topped their fuel off, so we know they can make it to the finish. The real question now is the chess game has kind of begun already. We're hearing some whispers on the radio about saving fuel, limited RPM. You shift a little bit early, like you short shift at a lower RPM. That saves some gas. So if you're ever going to save a gas, the road course is probably the place you can save the most.
Watching the battle for third, coming up the hill right there. Alex Bowman in the 17. Cole Custer in the 00. Austin Hill has left them and has left them to fight amongst themselves for that spot, with Justin Allgaier following them into the inner loop.
Yeah, Bowman's fading just a little bit here, deeper into this run. Custer trying to be able to get around, get in some clean air. I think if he could get around this 17, he would probably drive away, maybe go up there and be able to battle Austin Hill. See Allgaier back there in the back, not able to close.
Yeah, Alex Bowman doing a really nice job of hitting his marks, not making mistakes. Cole Custer, I agree with you, Junior, has a little more speed, keeps showing the front of his car to Alex Bowman, but Alex hadn't gotten faked out by it. Just trying to apply the pressure at the right spot.
This might be the best spot of all, as he was right up next to the back bumper of Bowman, but now Bowman pulls away on the front stretch, and once again, Cole Custer will try to outbrake him, but he's just too far away to take advantage of that in turn one.
Cole Custer tried to send it on in there to the bottom of one, but he didn't have enough to get up alongside Bowman. He'll lose a car length actually in that little short straightaway before they got to two. That's turn three right there, the left-hander. And again, Alex Bowman in control of this battle. Cole Custer doing everything he can to get to the back bumper, but he can't do it, at least not quite yet.
And we have to assume, too, that if the Gibbs cars are going to struggle to get to the end of this race on fuel, the rest of the field must have some concerns of some sort. So how hard is Cole Custer racing? How hard is the 17 racing? Just because Bowman's lost the back of Hill doesn't mean that he doesn't have the pace. He could be in fuel save mode.
That's a great point, Junior. Everybody with 22 to go probably does have to save a little bit of fuel. And how do you do it? You just try to stay off the throttle as long as you can. Try not to slow the car down too much in the corner so you don't have to recover with the throttle. Lift a little bit early and maybe not even go full throttle down the straights.
With just 21 laps to go in the race, let's get a few updates.
We got a spin. We got a spin here in the carousel. The 78 has gone around, entering the carousel.
Will he keep it going?
He got it going there.
One more coming.
He refires. He keeps going. And
right,
Anthony Alfredo.
Go.
He just got a little bit behind there, Rick. Got over the curbs, entering the bus stop. Back in, started moving around on him. Could not get the car under control as he started to head into the carousel. Good job not hitting anything. All the competitors staying clear of the 78.
We stay green, and we'll continue with those updates. Start with Dylan.
And so for Ty Gibbs, even though they are short on fuel, the message to him has still been to save, because the more they save, the more fuel they'll have in the car when they have to come down for their final stop, and thus the less fuel they need to add and the less time they're going to spend on pit road. So that's the strategy for the 19. They're still telling him to save your tires. These are the ones that are going to be on to the end, Marty.
Just had a conversation with Andy Street, the crew chief for Austin Hill, the regular season championship leader. And yes, they saw John Hunter Nemechek top off with fuel. Street told me we're going to wait and see what happens. We're going to see if a caution comes out. If we do have to top off, it'll be late in this race. They are still 3 laps short, Dylan.
Alex Bowman behind him runs in the 3rd spot, said he feels like this is his worst road course, so he's trying to get some laps for tomorrow where he's in a playoff battle on the Cup side as well. They are 1.5 laps to 2 laps short, so the message from Greg Ives to Alex has been the same thing. Just save here and try and get us to the end as he battles Custer for that 3rd spot, Kim.
And as we talk about Cole Custer, Jonathan Tony came on the radio and said, we are at best 2 laps short. I need you to save as much as possible. Running behind him in the 5th position, Justin Allgaier. They told Justin, we are 1 lap to 1.5 laps short on fuel. I need you to back off for 30 feet until I tell you to stop.
All right, now, Rick, 1.5 laps, that is absolutely obtainable. That is what makes having a Cup driver like Cole Custer. I know it's Xfinity full-time now, but he's moved up. He's been in the Cup side. And I don't mean just experience. More engineers, bigger organizations. You get more coaching on how to save gas. Cole Custer's going to have one of the best ideas. Bowman as well. This, you know, when we talk about experienced drivers, it's just not how fast you could go. What else do you know? Well, these 2 drivers here, they look like they're so close because they are playing cat and mouse. They are just backing up, making sure they save gas. I'm shocked if Gibbs isn't saving gas because he all of a sudden isn't the fastest car on the racetrack. And to circle back to the conversation of Nemechek, we wondered about his pace. Well, he has been roughly 1 second off the leaders since coming back out on the track behind traffic as you see Custer and Bowman. Oh, well, this is
tagged it, and they both go around, synchronized spins in turn 1, and Custer gets it going again, as did Bowman.
Right now, we were supposed to be saving gas. What were y'all doing?
Yeah, that was a situation where Cole Custer had been right on the back bumper of the 17 of Bowman. It looked as though he was content with running there, trying to save fuel, until they came into turn 1, where both of them went in pretty aggressively. The 00 got into the 17, and they both went around.
Yeah, Cole Custer had put a lot of pressure on him. Even the lap before, he was underneath him. Right here, it just outbreaks him and goes sliding through the corner. See, this is the lap before. And then Alex just drives underneath him and crosses him back over. And then this lap, the next lap where they end up spinning, the same thing. Cole Custer tried to drive in the corner, outbrake him, and he loses control. So Cole tried 2 laps in a row to make this pass. Look how far back he comes. He's out of control right here. Look at the car moving around. But the 17 moved down on him as well. Just hard racing. A little confusing. We talked they're thinking they're saving fuel, but neither one of these guys at this point is saving fuel. They're racing hard.
Yeah, Jeff, to your point, it's like the 17. I mean, I don't know if he thought the 00 was going to get down there. He was so far back. I mean, because the 00 is all into the curb. Either way, both cars spin.
Yeah, the 00 hit the curb, and it kind of got him up the racetrack a little bit. The 17 thought he wasn't coming there, and they both just misjudged it some. But that thing happened for 2 laps, and now here's Custer in the grass.
Yeah, trouble in turn number 3 for Cole Custer. He's off in the grass. He spun around. He's facing the other way. He's trying to get the car going. A little wet grass from the rains of a night ago, and he's still trying and trying and trying to get back onto the course. He's going to make it. He has given up a lot of spots, but most importantly, he has given up a ton of time on the stop line. Just watching Cole Custer coming up to the S's here, and he got offline coming into 2. And when he got offline, the car darted drivers left right into the grass, and at that point, it was too late for Cole. The damage has already been done, not only to the car getting off of the racetrack, but trying to get back on the racetrack and trying to make up that lost ground in what was looking like to be a top 5 afternoon here with Cole Custer.
Rick, I normally blame you, but I think I jinxed Cole Custer. I was just talking about his experience level, and here he is in 2 altercations.
Gibbs still with a 3.7 second lead over Austin Hill. 17 to go.
Why did we choose Safe Flight? For us, driving around is the only way we can get our baby to sleep. So when our windshield cracked, we can't drive this. We needed it fixed right. We went to safelight.com. There's no one else we'd trust. Their experts replaced our windshield and recalibrated our car's advanced safety system. They focus on our safety, so we can focus on this little guy.
Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
You've got the force field, the moat, the saucy sheriff. No matter your cookout plate strategy,
Bush's baked beans make burgers taste better.
I love me a saucy sheriff.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge.
$1.99 small classic shakes all day at Sonic.
Ashley's Labor Day sale is your last chance to save big on summer's top styles with 0% interest for 60 months. Shop Labor Day Hot Buys, all just $5.98 each. And featured finds starting at only $17 per month or $9.99.99. Only at Ashley.
Day. Welcome to the team.
Who wants to race?
I like this team. Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
The night race. It's as American as Uncle Sam deadlifting 350 while drinking a Busch Light outside his camper in a national park. It's as American as Dale Earnhardt rattling Terry's cage. It's the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway, and it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. Be there Saturday, September 16th. Get a weekend package today at bristolmotorspeedway.com and see Dale Jr. race on Friday night in the Food City 300. It's not just a race.
It's Bristol, baby!
Under 15 laps to go in the Shriners Children's 200 at the Glen. Still out front, it has been Ty Gibbs. A dominant day for him. 59 laps led. He's got a 3.6 second lead over Austin Hill. The question is, does he have enough fuel? We're about to find out. Again, 15 laps away from that. With more on the 10 of Kyle Busch. Here's Martin.
Yeah, Kyle Busch just lost the spot to Josh Berry just a moment ago. You can see the 8 car in front of the 10. He radioed to the team, third gear is out. So what would you do then, Dale Jr., if you don't have third gear here? It's kind of tough to get around Watkins Glen without that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you basically just skip from second to fourth, and you'll lose a ton of speed climbing the hill up the S's. We saw him get past in the S's earlier. I wasn't sure if he was just saving fuel, but obviously not able to drive that car up the hill like the other competitors without third gear.
That's such a disadvantage. I mean, even when you get in fourth gear, the only time you get into it really is at the very top of the hill, and the rest of the time you're mostly in third gear. So yeah, Kyle Busch is going to be very difficult for him to make lap time here.
Kyle Busch right now running in the 11th spot, falling a little bit further back behind Josh Berry. In front of him as Berry slides coming out of turn number 1.
Watch and see what Kyle does coming up the S's here. It's a difficult ask with no third gear, and he does continue to lose ground to Josh Berry, just trying to nurse this car home with less than 14 laps to go.
But the other side of that is it's almost a forced save for fuel. So it's like forcing him, if you were going to save fuel fourth gear all the way around this track, second and fourth gear, I mean, that would be a way to save more than anyone else. It's probably not going to be able to make the lap time that he wants. But look, he's hanging on to the back of this 8 car. If he's able to lift earlier for the braking zones and also using fourth gear, he's going to probably save as much, if not more, than anyone else going around this racetrack. Could pay off in the end trying to get to the finish.
That's a positive outlook for a tough situation for Kyle Busch. Again, no third gear.
So, Rick, when I look at the running order, you have Gibbs and Hill, who are kind of out there a little bit. But Mayer and Allgaier, right now, when I look at the pace for the last 5 or 6 laps, they are a second off what I think we have seen them run, which tells me that they are aggressively trying to save fuel. Probably think that's their best option at the moment.
Watching Sheldon Creed, watching Kaz Grala. That is the race for 6th and 7th. That's 18 seconds behind race leader Ty Gibbs in a private battle right now heading up the backstretch.
Yeah, right there, Bowman in front of him. Spun earlier down in turn 1 with the 0-0. He's rejoined in front of these guys, and Creed's having a great day. He's lost a lot of spots on some restarts late in this race, but sitting right here with a top 10 finish in his hands. Got a good fast car once they get going. Trying to close this one out with about 12 laps to go.
Yeah, and also Kaz Grala, remember, he was through the grass knocking the Go Bowling pins down. And he is still continuing to fight. Kaz in these road races shows his ability. Finds himself in the top 5, racing top 7, top 8 a lot. Doing a good job again today.
Steve, different with these cars as far as if they're going to run out of gas. We see the 21. He's made the decision to come in front of you, Marty.
Yeah, coming down pit road. The surprise here to me, Steve, is they're going to go with 4 Goodyear tires, and they had trouble getting the other side of the car up, fuel to make it to the end. But are you surprised they're going with 4 tires here? Nemechek, his rival for the regular season points, went with no tires, fuel only on his stop.
Well, I'm surprised they went with 4, but Nemechek really didn't run a whole lot faster. He actually lost some time, so maybe they are just racing against Nemechek. It'll be interesting to see where this 21 blends versus the 20 itself, right? So I think they're going to be okay against the 20. Plus, not only are they going to come out in front of Nemechek, but easily in front of Nemechek, actually. You see the advantage of waiting to pit versus what the 20 did for gas only. Plus, if they have a late yellow, now they'll have more grip.
Steve, why so long on fuel? They only needed a couple laps of fuel. Why would they have stayed so long and changed all the tires?
Well, if they're going to change all the tires anyway, they're just racing the 20. So if you look in the upper right in the map, as we see this battle between Kaz Grala and Sheldon Creed, the 21's racing the 20. The 20 came in and took gas only, went to the back and was slow back there. So they basically gapped it. They know they could come on pit road. Takes about 40 seconds to come down pit road, change tires, and go back out. That was the magic delta number. They came out in front of the 21. In front of the 20. So right now, when I look at the running order, the 21 of Austin Hill, first car that without a doubt can make it on fuel. Now, I think some in front of them are going to save enough, but it's going to be interesting 11 laps to see who can make it.
Hill running in the 15th position. Nemechek is 19th. Gibbs, can he make it? Less than 11 to go here at the Glen.
Nice footwork. Man, you're lucky. Watching live sports never used to be this easy. Now you can stream all your games like it's nothing.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, here he comes. Go!
Yeah! Running up and down that field looks tough.
It's a pitch.
Get way more into what you're into when you stream on the Xfinity 10G network.
Ashley's Labor Day sale is your last chance to save big on summer's top styles with 0% interest for 60 months. Shop Labor Day Hot Buys, all just $5.98 each. And featured finds starting at only $17 per month or $9.99.99. Only at Ashley.
Back in my day, we didn't have all these types of fancy chicken.
Pretty sure you have buffalo wings and fried chicken.
Well, we didn't have garlic parm or sweet bourbon barbecue.
And he had to walk uphill both ways.
And it snowed every time.
Yeah, right, Grandpa. You're from Miami.
And done.
Can we just call my dad now? Gorilla Glue.
Of course.
Gorilla Glue is incredibly strong and versatile, even outdoors, for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
The will states that Mr. Marbles will receive everything he needs in perpetuity thanks to auto ship from Chewy.
I always loved that old man.
And he gets the summer house.
What? Save more on what they love and never run out with auto ship from Chewy.
Okay, again, this is a status bar, this is a search bar. Let's know the difference, okay? Social media. It can be overwhelming for a young homeowner turning into their parents.
Now, what does it mean to slide into someone's DMs? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, we're not ready for that. As a team, we'll get there. It might be a fruit emoji, but that doesn't mean they're talking about fruit.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
Okay, do you really think we need 47 photos of fun dinner at Pam's?
Yes.
Leader on pit road, Ty Gibbs just completing service. Fuel only for the 19. Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief, said, do not speed on pit entry or pit exit right here.
So what the 19 did was run as hard as he can, gap it as many as he can, came down, splash of gas, probably less than 30 seconds on pit road. Now as he leaves pit road, we're going to see where he blends around other cars. So there's Sheldon Creed right in front of him. Sheldon Creed is the 5th place car. So think about this. Ty Gibbs had such a big lead. He came in. He now has enough gas to make it, so now he can run as hard as he can run while everyone in front of him tries to save enough gas to make it to the end. I mean, that's not a lot of gas. This is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he was only 7.5 seconds back now after he came off pit road.
Yeah, so if you're the crew chief of the 19 right here and you're on the radio, Jason Ratcliffe is probably giving him just specific instructions now to push, making it as uncomfortable as possible for everyone in front of you.
Focus. Park the rhythm, go to the
go get him, right? Because the 1 of Mayer is the leader with the 7 of Allgaier, Bowman in 3rd, and they've all been saving fuel for quite some time. So now it's 2 questions. Have they saved enough? And even if they have, do they have a big enough gap over what has been the fastest car in Watkins Glen all day long?
Sheldon Creed doesn't want to give the spot up, though. He would not give it up to the 19. So we'll see if he outbreaks him here into turn 1. He'll go by Creed. Now he'll set his sights on Bowman just in front of him.
Looking at Ty Gibbs now going to position number 4, trying to close in and try to take the 3rd spot away from Alex Bowman. To Marty.
And see Kaz Grala coming down pit road. All of the Toyotas were about 4 laps short. They went as far as they could. Nice recovery for Grala, though, after the excursion through the grass. Also, Daniel Hemrick on pit road in front of you, Dylan.
And I think they thought they could go a little bit longer, but now they're changing tires, and they've got a hiccup on the right side. So this is going to definitely cost them a lot of time for Hemrick.
Oh, no.
Look up underneath there. Daniel, take it out of gear and put it back in gear again.
Oh, some sort of issue.
Put the tire on.
Not rolling as we see Gibbs continuing to pick drivers off one at a time. He's got Allgaier and Mayer in front of him. 8 laps to go and about 6.5 seconds to make up.
And pace, unbelievable. You see how much he's already gapped the 2 cars he's passed, and now he can see them. If you ever wanted to motivate a race car driver, you give them a clear point of who they were trying to get. So now he's in 3rd, trying to run down 2 cars, trying to save gas.
His last lap on the racetrack, 2 seconds faster than the leader. There you see it.
31 car round into the gravel right in front of me. He may be stuck in it. He came in here sideways.
He's stuck. He's stuck.
Yeah, he lost control and got into it backwards, sideways, and now he just got mired in that gravel.
That's Parker Retzlaff, and the caution comes out. There'll be a restart. All right, Steve, does this play into the favor of a Sam Mayer and an Allgaier? Can they have enough fuel to get to the end with cautions?
I think everyone that's saving fuel now has to feel much better about it with these yellows. Your concern instantly becomes, do we go into overtime? Not for this yellow, but how many more yellows do we see? Let's see what happens exactly to Parker. It's just entering turn, oh man, he just cooks it down into turn 6. Man, Jeff, it's almost like I don't know if he had no brakes or low brakes, or I mean, his entry speed is much higher than he was hoping for.
Yeah, he was in there deep and got the car turned enough, but you can see what happened. He just entered kind of sliding sideways and just got dug in there. And then here's 11. We saw him on pit road having problems. Well, here he is before he came to pit road. So he had something happen on the racetrack. He came to pit road and they were trying to deal with it. Maybe a track bar broken or something. It's hard for me to tell.
Tough on machinery. Bouncing around and jumping the curbs as Hemrick back on pit road. Under 6 laps to go in this race.
Jack staying in hands, so they're going to go underneath the right side, Dylan.
Yeah, and when they dropped it off the jack the last time, it looked like the rear end or the body kind of shook on the rear end of the race car. So that is what they're looking at here right now, just to try and figure out exactly what the problem is and if it's something related to the track bar or something like that.
Yeah, you see the crew member shaking the body back and forth. So the track bar basically named for that because it tracks the rear end housing. As the rear end housing travels, something has to keep it centered left to right. The truck arms basically connect it to the middle of the car, but it can go left or right. The track bar is what does that. And when one breaks, the rear end housing moves left to right. So obviously something mechanical that can't be repaired on pit road. The 11 is going to go behind the wall. And remember, this 11 is, we talk a lot about the points. I mean, look at it currently, right? Kligerman -8, Herbst +8, Creed +24. Now Hemrick +31. He is quickly falling towards that bubble.
Yeah, let's check in with KP and Brad down on the Peacock pit box. All right, Herbst +8 now to Parker Kligerman.
This just got interesting.
It has now.
You know what I mean? I thought we were going to play out. We were going to see Parker and those guys. We were going to see Creed, everybody save fuel. How was that going to shake out? How was that going to affect it? Now we've got cars out there with old tires that, as Steve said, could make it to the end. We've got Ty Gibbs, who's running a totally different race than everybody else is running. So
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah. And how hard does Gibbs go to get that lead once we drop the green flag again? And Parker's put himself in a good position. Kind of how he's done all season long, taking advantage of opportunities, just hanging around, giving himself a good chance to get a good finish. It's going to be interesting, though. I'm wondering about the fuel a little bit. We heard Steve talk about it. Seems like everyone's okay. Are they? We're going to find out. And if we do have to go to overtime, what's going to happen with that?
I keep hearing what Steve's saying. You know, you got to save fuel. You got to save fuel. From a race car driver's perspective, he said it right there with Ty Gibbs. When you can see that guy in front of you, you press a little harder. These guys, even though they're trying to save fuel, I know Parker and Creed are pressing a little bit harder.
So now that you have to just not be married to a strategy. You can't be so stubborn to be afraid to get off the strategy. Now, I don't know about the 1 and the 7. It'd be pretty hard to pit from the front. But someone mid-pack is going to come. You know, you'll think about Brandon Jones, right? He's back here in 9th. We're going to see chaos on the restarts. I know there's 22 cars in the lead lap, but you come put fresh tires on, fill it up with gas, and make sure you're okay. There you go. Bowman. A bunch of guys are coming. Brandon Jones, as I mentioned, Parker. They're going to assure they're okay on fuel and get perhaps some fresh tires. You see a lot of takers on pit road, Dylan.
Yeah, and if you're somebody like Alex Bowman, why not? You're just here for wins, so you may as well come down, put some tires on, make sure you're good to the end. They'll add fuel, change 4 good years for Alex Bowman. Parker Kligerman also in. They were going to, I think, try to stay out there. If not for that yellow, it was going to be really close, but they'll make no adjustments, just adds 1 can of Sunoco fuel on the 48.
Going by the 31 of Parker Retzlaff after he just got out of the gravel pit. A busy pit road with only 5 laps to go in the race. Out front, it's Mayer and Allgaier, but Gibbs lurking there in 3rd. Ty Gibbs trying to make it back-to-back wins on road courses. He won at Indy last week. Now he'll start in the 2nd row, and we've seen him make the pass when he gets to turn 1.
Well,
starting in the 2nd row.
He's been crazy fast, but there's a few things we have to keep in mind, right? We don't know how slow the 1 and 7 are because they were saving gas. Maybe they have some speed left. Gibbs has been spectacular. We can't take that away from him. But look right there, 0 tires. Let's not forget, if tires are worth something, Austin Hill put 4 tires on under his pit stop. He's going to start right behind Ty Gibbs. So there's a lot of question marks in those front 3 rows of how this restart's going to go. There's no question that everybody's looking at Ty Gibbs. He's led 64 laps. Right. The guy's had a ton of speed, but I'm not sure I'm ready to quite give him the trophy. Not to mention Kyle Busch in that LA Golf. You see it, 2nd car on the right side right there. It's been reported he has no 3rd gear. So he's going to have to really work those S's going from 2nd to 4th. Let's listen in to Allgaier.
You are the man, okay? Turn 1, you've been the man all day long. Gonna do it again. Copy that, bud. Let's do this.
There's that pep talk that he needed. We'll see if he can get by Mayer and possibly hold off the 19 of Ty Gibbs on this restart. They're coming up on 4 laps to go at the Glen. Into the restart zone they go. Back up through the gears. All the way to the wall was the 19 of Gibbs. They're 4 wide into turn 1. The 7 of Allgaier goes way wide. Gibbs comes out, and he's side by side for the lead.
Side by side into turn number 2. Everybody rooting and gouging for every bit of real estate they can find. Ty Gibbs, Sam Mayer make contact. Mayer hits the Armco. Gibbs is away with the lead. That's going to bottle up everybody from 2nd on back.
We saw the 10 car of Kyle Busch. We got a crash almost. What a great save. I thought that was a wreck for sure. Kaz Grala gets it under control. Lots of contact, cars coming through. Oh, the 7's around in front of the field. A lot of cars piling in. Big damage. The 20, the 9 car, the 26. Bowman in the 17 spun out. Foam everywhere. Happens every time here at Watkins Glen at the end of these races on these late restarts. Down into the bus stop side by side. Never works. A lot of debris on the racetrack, but also a lot of fluid down here in the carousel. Let's take a look at it.
Sam Mayer takes the 19 as low as he possibly can, but at some point he has to come up to make corner entry. 19 shallow entry, blows the corner, but just look at the rear grip of the 19. He can get on the gas and still accelerate next to the 1 of Mayer. Now I got it to Mayer, Rick. I thought it was game over right here on the outside, but he stays to the right side of the 19. The 19 gives him a little, I think that's all fair game, just a little push and shove. And here comes the 21 up through, and then this is the save Dale Jr. talking about. Look at this, Dale. Tank slapping on the middle of the straightaway at 170 miles an hour.
Yeah, he gets into the corner, but here's where Allgaier gets in trouble. Coming out of here, he just gets a little clip. Just hard, tight racing, exiting the bus stop, and then all the cars come piling in. Just some incredible racing, but it always happens down here at this part of the racetrack late in the race. Everybody trying to get everything they can. Let's see. It's like Cole Custer just trying to, Cole's trying to stay in the fight. Comes back across the racetrack and clips the 7 and turns him around.
And this save right here, I think, is that Connor Mozak? I think that's who it is in the 24.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about, I mean, that is, you know what I'm talking about? That is the absolute fastest area at Watkins Glen, the end of the back straightaway.
Right along with the 48 of Parker Kligerman.
Missing the 7 right there of Justin Allgaier might be the pass or the miss that gets him into the playoffs.
That was Connor Mozak and the Toyota on board. And then you see all the damage with Kaz Grala in the 26.
Yeah, now this is now a scary time for all those guys that were trying to save gas and work all the different situations. You see everybody swerving. Let's listen into the one of Sam Mayer.
Literally about wrecked us out of the essence in front of the whole field. Like, am I skewed or is he like fed you some fender? I mean, honestly, if I'm the leader, I'm telling him to do that. So we just got to get a good start here and give it back. I mean, we're our only friends right now. 10-4 right there.
All right, so that is a great, fired up young race car driver. And I loved that was Kevin Hamlin who said, listen, I hear you. You're not wrong. But let me tell you, this is Kevin Hamlin, who spots on Sunday, who's won races on Sunday, who says, if I'm spotting the leader, being Ty Gibbs, I'm telling him to do exactly what he did to you. So I know you're mad. This kind of goes back to the Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson thing at Pocono, right? What is acceptable, what is not? I loved how Kevin Hamlin didn't fire his driver up more. He didn't add fuel to this fire, right? He was factual, honest, and Sam Mayer responded with, okay, then I need to go get there. I mean, that was really well. This one car has really kind of turned a corner in my mind, right? He's always finding his way now to the finishes. He used to have some issues before that. So we'll see now. Now it's up to Sam to see if he can get a little momentum on the start. Hopefully he has enough fuel to get it all the way back around to the finish.
He said 10-4 to that information that was delivered. Yep, Parker Kligerman, well, he was 16th coming to the green, and now will restart probably inside the top 5. Here's Connor Mozak. Look at that. Like you said, Steve, 170 miles an hour. Well, Friday night, under the lights on USA, it's NASCAR Xfinity Series racing from Daytona. That coverage beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the guy running second right now, Austin Hill, so good on super speedways.
Well, if you sell sheet metal, you think Watkins Glen and Daytona back-to-back, this is the best thing ever because there's not a car out there without damage. You mentioned Austin Hill, so good at the speedways. But here he is again, second. Like, this guy just finds a way. Good cars, bad cars, wreck fest strategy. It doesn't matter the style of racing. He just seems to find his way at the front. So, big announcement. Jeff mentioned it earlier about the 21 saying he was coming back full-time next year. Marty, that has to have this team excited.
Oh, yeah, talked to Andy Street about that this morning. They're fired up for year number 3 with Austin Hill, but what a move. We talked about you taking tires there. Did you see this coming? This could play exactly into your favor.
Well, obviously we didn't see it coming, but we were hoping it was going to come out. It was our chance really to have a shot at it here at the end of the race with the situation we had there in our pit stop. We were a little short on fuel, much more than the other guys, so it was a gamble, and right now it's paid off, so hopefully it'll pay off here next lap or 2 here in overtime.
And now the big question is, how does he get by Ty Gibbs? How's he been on restarts all day long?
he's actually been pretty strong here on restarts here as of later in the race. So hopefully we got something for that 19 here.
There you go. Ty Gibbs been the fastest car all day long. Can Austin Hill steal one here at Watkins Glen, Dylan?
Yeah, it's been dominant for the 19 team. Let's check in with Jason Ratcliffe. So you've led, I think, 67 laps. What's been the biggest challenge of this day? It seems like it's been pretty straightforward.
I'd say the last 4 laps has been the biggest challenge. We kind of knew it was coming, you know, at some point. Everybody's been being pretty good all day, but I figured if we got a late race restart, it could turn into this. I know we got a few guys behind us on tires. I think these things usually refire pretty good, so we'll let them cool off here a few laps. Right now, I'm actually more concerned about fuel. We took just enough to maybe buy us a lap or two, so we're still in good shape, but hopefully the cleanup crew's picking up the pace back there.
How impressed have you been with Ty on these restarts? He's been dynamite today.
He has, yeah. He, you know, but every time we do it, those other guys learn, you know. So he's got a few more good ones in him, I'm sure. Those guys behind him are going to be chomping at the bit to get to him. So hopefully we'll just see one more, and we'll get back over here to the white flag and get it done.
Been a great day for the 19 team, and hopefully they have enough fuel to get through and get to the checkered flag.
I've known Jason Ratcliffe a long time. I don't think he's selling us a bill of goods. He did seem a bit concerned about fuel taking only enough on that gas and go stop to make it to the finish with maybe a lap or 2 extra.
So cleanup, we saw that continuing out there. Let's go around the horn, talk with our guys around the racetrack once again. And the radio we heard, Bagman, from Sam Mayer leads me to believe that he's not going to be friendly through the S's anymore the way he was treated last time through.
It's time to unlace the gloves and take them off. This is what we came here for. This is what we love at the end of these races, these overtime finishes. Ty Gibbs has been strong all day long, but he's got them lined up behind him. They've got to catch him and make sure he doesn't get away. That's the number one thing. But there are a lot of people behind him that would love to take that spot, take this win this afternoon. Dale, what about you?
Yeah, I think the only chance for the 21 car is to make physical contact with the back of the 19. Not only be pushing the issue and fill up the mirror, but Ty Gibbs is a good enough race car driver that that's not going to be enough. You're going to have to move that car around, let him know you're back there by actually getting into him whenever you can and worry him to death and have him overdrive the car into a mistake. And I don't know if they'll just have clear enough pace to go drive around the 19. It's going to take a little bit of elbowing, a little bit of pushing and shoving.
Well, look, one thing's for sure. No one has taken the fight to Ty Gibbs on restarts all day. Ty Gibbs has dominated on restarts. He's driven into turn 1 way more speed than everybody, even from the second row. So if Austin Hill does decide to line up next to him, he has to know that what he's got to do is at least launch with Ty Gibbs and then not let him outbreak you. You have better tires. Ask of those tires a lot. Make them tell you that they weren't enough grip. You've got to be committed to driving in the corner and outbrake Ty Gibbs. You cannot let him outbrake you. If you do, he's going to drive by you and he will be gone.
We'll check back in on the Peacock pit box.
Listen, that last restart was fascinating to me. I didn't know you could run 8 wide here. But obviously you can when you get down into turn 1. Ty Gibbs, once again, had an incredible restart. But watch this right here. And you look at Sam Mayer block. If you're going to block. Don't pretend to block. He gave it back up and allowed Ty Gibbs to come into the corner as Justin blew the corner off.
Yeah, I can't believe that Ty got under Sam like that. I think Sam was trying to give himself a little bit of angle to get into the corner, and then you go back up through the hill there, and Sam's trying to hang on. He does a good job coming back, but Ty Gibbs is so strong. He roughs him up. I think Sam's learned a little bit from that incident. I think he's going to go after him really hard on this restart, and then poor Justin Allgaier gets destroyed. So I'm looking at Sam Mayer. I'm also going to be watching Austin Hill on this restart. He's got fresher tires, but look where Parker Kligerman is. He sits 5th. Well, he's at 7th right now.
Yes.
So he continues to move up through the field. This is going to be one heck of a restart, and you're going to have to get it all. Whoever gets out of turn 1 has a great chance to win this race.
Yeah, listen, I'm glad I'm sitting here on the booth or sitting here on the box watching this, because when that corner gets blocked right there, all heck breaks loose. But as I watch this, Rick, and as you guys watch this, we've seen this time and time again, and especially on road courses and especially in the Xfinity Series. These restarts seem to have a way of repeating themselves.
Well, how aggressive? Yeah, that's the question is, will they be able to get all the way back around to the white flag?
Well, will they be able to get to the white flag, and will some of them even make it to the green flag? I mean, once again, we didn't see the choose, so we are not coming to the green. I mean, we haven't seen pit roads open yet, right? So we have the 19, of Gibbs that we thought was okay on fuel because he had pitted, but remember, we're assuming we don't know how much fuel he put in.
Right.
Jason Ratcliffe kind of mentioned that he was way closer than we thought. Austin Hill's great on fuel. Sam Mayer, he's stretched all the way from lap 48. First of all, great job of saving gas. How he's got to this point is super impressive. And then it's kind of a mixed bag behind them of guys on 2 tires and 4 tires and good gas and bad gas. So there's a lot of different storylines in this, Marty.
And Steve, this could be a pivotal moment in the battle for the regular season points. Look at John Hunter Nemechek's left side. I mean, it's absolutely peeled away, and NASCAR is going to have the team come down pit road and fix that left side for John Hunter Nemechek. He is sitting 11th right now on the racetrack, and that picture on the left-hand side of your screen could dramatically change. There will be an official who oversees the repairs on the 20, and once they kind of sign off on that, then John Hunter can go back out. They fought track position all day long, but Steve, they're going to make them come down pit road and make this repair right now.
So Marty, are they going to allow them to add foam? Because you must have foam between the door panel and the metal.
The door foam. I know it took some out.
There you go on the radio. I don't see foam anywhere. I heard foam just mentioned on the radio, but they right now have bare bond, and that's it. So Ben Bayshore kind of leading this repair for John Hunter Nemechek, and clearly they want to make it as quick as they can. I believe we're coming back around to the green flag, and they're telling him to pick the door foam up off the rocker and then tape it up inside the door. So you see the NASCAR official leaning in to kind of oversee the repairs, and then they're going to try and tape down the left side, Steve. That's what they're doing.
That's great reporting, Marty. So you see that the door foam, some of it is obviously missing, but the others have fallen down into the rocker. So they're telling the team, listen, that has been designed to be in certain areas. NASCAR obviously is right there. You see the official. So there is obviously enough foam for the officials to feel that that is still safe and with enough integrity. You ask, why don't they just add new? This is part of the crash clause. You cannot add new foam. If the door peels open and all of that foam would have fallen out, this would have been day over for John Hunter Nemechek. So great work by the team, the crew chief, Marty, great telling the story of picking that foam up and replacing where it's supposed to be, which is basically midway up the door. It all comes down to, you know, enough foam, and NASCAR obviously knows how it's designed, so it's up to them to decide if it's enough or not.
All right, Kim, what about the one of Sam Mayer? Do they have enough fuel to make it to the end?
It seems as though they do have enough fuel. I don't know if there was a second overtime, if they would be good, but Sam Mayer fired up. You heard him on the radio, and then spotter Kevin Hamlin having to talk him down. It happened a second time. Sam very fiery, and Hamlin talking him down again and telling him to look at the bigger picture. Yes, a second win on the season would be great, but remember, they're trying to keep a top 5 streak alive. They've had 4 in a row. It matches his best ever career-wise. He could have a best historic career-wise 5 straight top 5 finishes if he's able to hold this position, Dylan.
And Kim, for Parker Kligerman, it's been a really, really gritty afternoon. They've gone backwards, they've gone forwards, and this is just a testament to the effort that this Big Machine Racing crew has put in all summer. A couple months ago, Parker was not real confident about the state of them making the playoffs, and they've kind of locked things down, and everybody's gotten more comfortable with each other, and now they've done their job today and sit just 9 points out of the playoffs behind Riley Herbst. So it's been a hard-fought effort. He runs 9th right now and going to try and get a couple more here on this restart.
It's going to be 2 laps, and I asked the question earlier, and Steve, I want you to answer. Will they get back to the white flag? I mean, we see how aggressive they were with 4 laps to go. Now, if there's only 2 laps, how aggressive do they get on the track?
Well, aggression, but there's more than just aggression. There's low fuel levels. Cars may not accelerate. If I'm setting a line, Rick, it's not a very favorable line that we're going to see 2 green flag laps here. But, you know, such as racing. Right now, the 19 can't worry about the fuel. He has to get a good start. The 21's hoping to just stay to his left over there to turn 2.
Side by side, it's Ty Gibbs in the 19. And the 21 of Austin Hill. And we heard from Austin Hill's crew chief. Andy Street said he's been getting better and better at the restarts. We're about to find out how good he is. Ty Gibbs back into the gas. Austin Hill on his outside. Gibbs into turn 1. Contact made. He's tagged. Mayer gets into the back of him and around it goes. Hill also collected in it. They spin around. So far we stay green. We'll see if they keep going.
And it's Sheldon Creed that will take the lead in turn 2. Sam Mayer to second. Josh Berry to third. Sheldon Creed trying to make it back to the white flag as Sam Mayer has damage on that Chevrolet.
Yeah, a lot of tire smoke. You have to wonder if that car can get to the finish line. Creed out front, though. What a huge, huge day this would be for this 2-car, and what a big, big change it would do to the points around the bubble. That battle, Creed has been a part of it. He gets loose right there. There's a lot of fluid on the racetrack. The 8-car is spinning out. A lot of debris and fluid down there in the carousel. Cars struggling to get through it.
Speedy Drive also down here in turn 6. See Creed driving into the corner. He's free. The one of Mayer is right there with him.
Overtime, presented by Credit One, and now side by side for the lead. Creed misses turn 7, and around him goes Mayer. Mayer out in front, and they're spinning behind him as the white flag comes out. One more time around. We saw a car spin out of turn number 7. Mayer, does he have enough fuel? That will be the question.
Here comes Sam Mayer, final time, entering the S's in turn number 2. So far, so good for Mayer. Now it's Sheldon Creed in the number 2 position. Across turn 4 for the last time, Sam Mayer with about a 9-car length lead as he races up the back straightaway.
Everything's clear on the backside of the racetrack over here. The tire smoke seeming to dissipate just a little bit. The 2 closing in now on Sam Mayer. Can Sam Mayer get through the carousel clean? It's very dirty and slick over here. Car sliding around. The 2 now knows that. Makes the adjustment. Coming out of this corner just about 10 car lengths back.
Yeah, Sam Mayer knows how slick the racetrack is. It wasn't completely clean from that oil on track, but you cannot get into turn 6 too easy and let the 2 of Creed get near you. He gets through there, coming to 7.
He has saved fuel maybe better than anyone at the Glen. Sam Mayer comes out of turn number 7. Does he have enough to get to the checkered flag? Creed is going to finish second. Mayer's going to win at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, boys. Good stuff. So smart. So smart. Thank you, guys.
He got his first career win on a road course at Road America. Ty Gibbs, you see in the 19, rolling back after a dominant performance today, leading 70 laps. He doesn't get to the checkered flag first, but the 20-year-old Mayer getting his second career win, and it comes on another road course.
When you asked if they would make 2 laps green, I bet they wouldn't. I was wrong, but it was absolute chaos filled. Sam Mayer, much like, kind of like Road America, like that crazy overtime finish. He manages the track conditions.
And Steve, conserving fuel. I mean, he was last on pit road at lap 48. This race took 86 laps, 38 laps. He was able to go fuel-wise.
Yeah, more than any crew chief thought they could go. Just a great call by Marty Lindley. Great work by Kevin Hamlin, the spotter. We talked about it. We heard the radio, talking to his driver, getting him refocused.
Austin Hill dooring him a bit there as he goes by. I'm not sure if that was a congratulations or maybe didn't appreciate the way we raced. Up for interpretation. Mayer coming back around. He's got enough fuel to make another lap, so we'll see if he's got enough for a burnout. After the win at Road America, we talked to Sam, and he said, it's just changed my perspective. Being able to get to victory lane made us all realize we could do it. And as a team, they felt like they were stronger. He said the weight was lifted off his shoulders. And now the 20-year-old has 2 wins already in the Xfinity Series, celebrating here at the Glen. And he'll dive into the arms of his crew. Kemp
Sam Mayer celebrating with his entire crew. And when he won at Road America, he talked about getting the monkey off his back, how the win should come easier. Although I don't know that this win came very easy. Had to do a lot of fuel saving, had to be very smart as he got very aggressive with some of the contenders out front, Ty Gibbs and Austin Hill. Man, congratulations, Sam. You win in overtime on low fuel. Take us through the restart to start.
Yeah, I mean, that first one, I got used up. Thought I had a good one there, but man, I mean, all glory to God for this one, because we had to work our tails off for it. I mean, Marty on top of the box, and everyone on pit road, we earned this one for sure. Feels good to have a car as fast as Xfinity 10G, no matter where you go and no matter what the situation is. And I mean, to do it in front of all you Northeasterners feels really, really good. Thank you, guys.
We heard on the radio your frustration with Ty Gibbs, and then we saw you give it to him on that restart. That fair or foul, in your opinion?
Yeah, I wheel hopped it. That's unfortunate. I feel bad for doing that, obviously. You don't want to take out a Gibbs car like that or any car like that. But, yeah, I mean, just trying to get another win in the Xfinity Series. I mean, I got a lot of catching up to do, and, I mean, I was in there. I put my nose in there, and, I mean, that's part of it. Fenders are fenders.
So you're just calling that an accident, a racing incident?
Yeah, that's an accident, but I think everyone can agree that it's okay for an Xfinity Series regular to win this race.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is Sam Mayer. Let's get the other perspective, Dylan Welch.
And Ty Gibbs going to officially be credited with, I believe it's a 17th place finish today. So Sam called that a racing incident. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you know, I think when you have to race out of desperation like that and you wheel hop and, you know, clean the leader out, it's just you know, it's, I guess you can call it a racing move in that book, but it just really sucks. You know, we had really fast Monster Energy. He gets us Toyota Supra. I really appreciate all the hard work from them, and we had a great time out there. Definitely wish that caution didn't come out there, but you know, it definitely sucks to get, you know, cleaned out there. So had a good time running these things this year.
When you lead as many laps as you lead today, 70, have a day like you had, how do you make your peace with the result and the result the way it happened?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think it's just it's a part of life and it's a part of racing, and you just get over it. And you know, when there's, you know, stuff like that happens, and you know, desperate moves like that happen, it's just, you know, it's just part of it, and you just got to keep going. And we had a great car today. I appreciate all the hard work from my guys back at the shop, and we were really fast.
Do you feel like you need to go have a conversation with Sam?
I mean, I don't really know how much of a conversation you can, you know, really have with him, and in that situation. Like I said, we've been kind of grew up around racing each other. I think he has more starts than I do, and you know, this is his second win. So congratulations to him on the second win, and definitely wish I had got my 13th there.
Tough way to end it for Ty Gibbs, the dominant car today at Watkins Glen.
And so, as you mentioned, Ty Gibbs is going to end up 17th, and Sam Mayer is now going to head to the Ruoff Mortgage victory lane. And Ty Gibbs brought it up. It's his second win. The 20-year-old, impressive today, able to save fuel even through overtime. Aggressively into turn one. He turns the 19 of Gibbs around, but then holds off the 21 of Austin Hill, who was right there with him and fighting all the way to the end, as well as Creed. To victory lane he goes. Sam Mayer, 2 career wins now. Celebration in victory lane. That's Ruoff Mortgage victory lane for Sam Mayer. Let's take a look at the standings now, as Sam Mayer notches 2 wins, and we see him currently 5th in the playoff standings with his 10 playoff points. You get 5 for winning a race.
Well, yeah, you see John Hunter still at the top of 5 wins. Austin Hill looked to be in position again. He's won 4 races. Allgaier had a good car, got in that accident. So it's really stacking together. But look on the right side right there. Riley Herbst 3 points above Parker Kligerman, still with 3 races remaining. Remember, we have Daytona, Darlington, and Kansas. So still a lot of racing to go. Still shocks me to see Josh Berry winless. He's been so good this year. But it's going to be a fun battle. I think we're going to see some more first winners this season before this is over.
Yeah, unbelievable how tight it is right there. 12th and 13th, as you mentioned, just 3 points separating them. Okay, this isn't the first time that there's been a run-in between Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer. We go all the way back to last year, and 3 wide at Martinsville. It doesn't work.
Yeah, late restart, fresh tires, old tires, pushing and shoving. And you heard Ty mention it. This is more than just a Xfinity Series thing for these two. A right punch, left punch. I'll give it 2 or 3 good swings there. These two have grown up racing each other in many, many series. So we'd have to have an hour show showing the highlight reel of Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs. And then today, here's Sam gets in, said he wheel hop. You see the back of the car kind of fishtail out. I mean, that doesn't give a guy an excuse. Obviously, he was getting in there deeper than he could control. The 19 definitely was coming to the bottom of the racetrack. I think it's fair to say that 19 feels like he got cleaned out is accurate. And I think, you know, that Sam has every opportunity to say that he feels it was a racing incident. Either way, he's in victory lane.
Let's check in with Dylan. He's got 3rd place Parker Kligerman with him.
Parker Kligerman comes home in the 3rd spot today. Good, hard-fought effort for you guys, but I think there was maybe some discrepancy or confusion on the restart about where you restarted. What is your take on where you restarted and where you maybe should have?
I'll have to talk to NASCAR and just sort of sort through this one because, you know, we were in 5th, which maybe that was a little too far, but they sent us like 4 or 5 spots back, including the 8, who I'm pretty sure is the car that hit us in the wreck. So, I mean, if we went back to maybe turn 1, that's where we lined up, which was 9th instead of us being 5th. But, you know, unfortunate part is if you give us a row or 2, we're where the 2 and the 1 is. So I knew this was going to be a speedy, dry finish. I saw it. I was like, this is just like Road America 2.0. And I made sure to, like, try and avoid those areas. And sure enough, people were flying off left and right in that stuff. You know, everyone here on this Spike Light course, Chevy, Big Machine Racing did a good job. We had a car that was not nearly as fast as Xfinity 10G Internet. You know, we were probably more a 10th place car, which is the more disappointing part. We got a great finish. We salvaged great points. We kept ourselves in the fight, but, you know, I gotta sort through this one and find out why we weren't faster.
The fight is less of a fight now. It's just 3 points that you're out. So how do you feel about that? There's still work to do, but it's better than it was.
You know, to me, 3, 15, 7, I don't know. Like, it all feels the same. Like, you know, it's so close that can happen in a stage, essentially. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing. We scored stage points of all stages today, so that's big deal for us. You know, we're the king of 11th place. We were close to finishing 11th in 2 of those stages. I was going to spin someone out if I had to not finish 11th. But, yeah, I think we're doing the right things. We just need a little more. I mean, if we just have a 10th more in every run, we are definitely a bona fide contender. We got to find it.
All right, positive day, all the things considered for Parker Kligerman. He finishes 3rd.
Well, it winds up being 2nd for Sheldon Creed. Walk me through those final laps. After that melee in turn 1, you came out with the lead. How did you lose the lead?
Just oil, I guess, really. I seen the 1 drive through, not the 54 anymore, the 19, and handed me the lead there, and I thought that was my race to lose, and it was. And then I got to, I don't know, you guys call it 6 and 7, we call it 10 and 11, but I got oil on entry there and thought I'd be okay going into 11, and I was just sideways and let him go by. And I thought I'd be able to reel him in more that last lap. Obviously, Sam did a good job that last lap, but just another way to lose one. You know, it's just, it's tough. But I thought we were, you know, a 8th to 10th place car all day. We just couldn't fire, and then by the time I felt like I would, you know, be on pace, they were, you know, far away. So to finish 2nd and to gain points all day, that's good for us. But just stings when you're that close.
It's a tough one to stomach, but their goal coming into the day, have a solid day, winds up being a top 5, and they gain a lot, as he mentioned, plus 22 above the cut line now.
4 second-place finishes for Sheldon Creed, and still hasn't found victory lane, but a big smile there for Sam Mayer. He's been to victory lane twice this year. Remember back in the S's when Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs were working up through 2, and this is where Sam thought he was raced wrong.
You see right there, the 19 makes contact with the 1. The 1 very unhappy on the radio, and then the final restart.
Slid into turn number 1, tags the 19. He goes around, and the 1 ends up in victory lane at the Glen. Well, the action continues on USA as the squad of Chicago Firehouse 51 fights fires and risk their lives for the love of the job. Chicago Fire Marathon is next on USA. Want to go around the horn one more time with the guys up in their perches, and we'll start with the bag man. We saw a lot today. Even the S's got pretty crazy.
Yeah, the S's got roped into this all at the end, but what a race and what a finish. Watkins Glen has a reputation of producing these types of finishes. I'm excited for tomorrow's Go Bowling at the Glen. Dale Jr., what about you?
Yeah, just a wild race and a dirty racetrack at the end that presented a lot of problems for all the drivers. And, yeah, it seems like we always come down to finishes like this at Watkins Glen, especially in the Xfinity Series. Late restarts, dirty racetracks, a lot of pushing and shoving. Going to be some people that are happy, going to be a lot of people that are mad. No different today, but tomorrow should be more of the same.
Yeah, Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs, they just don't like each other. And they fought hard. Ty Gibbs, you know, he came out of the short end of the sticks, got to be completely disappointed after dominating this race. Nobody had near the speed of Ty Gibbs, but in these Xfinity races, you never know what's going to happen. Really, if you go back, this reminds me of Road America. Like, that last lap was just chaos with oil still on the racetrack, the track not being cleaned up. And, you know, Sheldon Creed disappointed, but I don't know what Sheldon Creed could have done different. He drove in the corner, track wasn't dry, and he just lost the groove. So that's a tough one for him, but he gained a lot of points today. So in the end, it was very positive.
Steve, crew chief, surprised?
Yeah, how could you not be? I mean, Ty Gibbs had the pace, more cautions than I expected, probably had the same amount of pushing and shoving. But in the end, Sam Mayer, you know, he said that first win kind of took the pressure off, and he drove kind of like, you know, a driver out there having fun, being aggressive. Him and Marty Lindley right there. Number 2, they're showing you.
The guys mentioned it again tomorrow. Countdown to Green kicks us off at 2:30 for the Cup Series and 3 o'clock racing. More NASCAR and motorsports coverage is always available on NBCSports.com. Coming up next on USA and Chicago Fire. On fire, really, around the racetrack for almost the entire race was Ty Gibbs, but in the end, it was an aggressive move by Mayer. Around goes Gibbs. Mayer ends up in victory lane.